America are starting to seem to put in some kind of legislation to uh, start the process to changing it for us as black people, and I just don't know what as black men we can do, because it seems like whether we go outside, we run, we're anywhere, we are targets. And um I know I've dealt with, being racially profiled. I'm sure you guys have, and it's just a sickening feeling. And this police brutality has to stop, and it starts at the top. That is where it starts. We as black men can only do so much because we know we are on the bottom of the totem pole. Let's call it for what it is. And we just have to really watch out for each other, be there for each other, because we know that when it comes to the police, they are definitely not on our side, and we have a lot that we still have to do in this country. This has been going on for 400 plus years, as we all know. And we have to not just let this be a 1 or 2 weeks thing. This has to be a long-term movement until there really is justice served for George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. We know Tatiana here locally, both from John. It's a lot of names, Trayvon Martin. There's so many things
Hmm.
that we have to remember, that this has been going on. This is nothing new for none of us. And I just hope that this is start towards real change and just real improvements in America. And I am just glad that the whole world is behind us, because we
Yeah.
definitely need it.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to say, R.I.P. George Floyd and everybody, before him. All the names you mentioned, and ones that we didn't mention. Got a chance to watch the memorial, and it was real good. It was real good. Uh, they put a light on the situation. Just you know, giving out information about what's going on. If you didn't get a chance to check it out, I definitely would recommend going back and watching it. But yeah, I think as our black culture here, and not just in America, but in the world, we really need to be smarter about getting our voices heard, you know, making sure that these injustices stop, because we're pretty much the number one culture that's being treated the worst, from years on in. It's not, it's just, it never stopped. And I think we need to become smarter, stronger, and more strategic in battling this injustice, racism. And, it's just, it just has, we have to figure out a way to, not only overcome this, but really see it's going to take the rest of the world to really get the picture of treating someone that doesn't look like you, that it's wrong. And see, a lot of people get it twisted that it's like, oh, this race or that race. Last time I checked, the only race that was on this planet that was human is human, besides animals and other organisms. I mean, unless we're different types of aliens or species. And I mean like ET aliens. The last time I checked, there was only one human race.
Right.
So a lot of people get that twisted, and it just really doesn't make sense.
Hmm.
But yeah, we definitely need to do better as a culture, and as a human race, because we only got one planet. And
Yeah.
people are trying to go and colonize on the moon and Mars. I'm sorry, I just don't think, as far as our technology goes, it's not going to happen. It might be in the next 1,000 years, 2,000 years. Okay, great, but you only got one planet, and it's like you're not even treating this planet right. So do you even think you deserve to go colonize on another planet and then just start the whole process over again? Like, I think the more oppressed humans deserve to find a second planet like Earth and get a real start. If you want to be real about it, I think that if you're trying to, it's time to find another planet. Do you think you really deserve to go find another planet the way you treat people? Like, no. And so I just think that the powers that be, the ones that created, Earth and the universe, they're not going to let that happen because it would have happened a while ago. And they can, the smartest people can get together, years and years and years over and over and try to figure out stuff. I don't think it's going to happen because why do you think as a human race that you're going to be allowed to go to another planet,
Mm-hmm.
populate it, and start the whole negative process over again? It's just like in movies and comics and media like that when it's like different made up characters like then they're talking about Earth, it's like, oh man, you don't want to go there, that's the worst place in the universe. And they always dog Earth out. They always it's like, oh man, what's this place, Earth? Oh man, why did we come here? We are literally the worst planet. We really are, because of the way we treat people. We treat our own people bad, and it's just it's just ridiculous. So things have got to change, and it's going to take more than just voting and regulations. Like, it's literally people that are pushing racism and just teaching their children to be racist. They're the ones that really need to change, and it's deeper than just the mindset. And I talked to Brian about it, and Evan about it. It's a lot deeper than that. I don't want to go into that deep on the show with that, but I believe it goes deeper than just trying to change someone's mind, because that's once someone's mind is made up from childhood to adulthood, it's pretty hard to change that.
Yeah.
So it's like trying to get a crack at it, or a drunk to stop drinking or doing drugs. Like, that's pretty hard when they've been doing it for their whole life. So that's just my take on it right now.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like like I like what you said about the whole thing of there's being one race. It's the human race on like I think that's like that's 100% true. Number one. Number two is that yeah, because people like there's a reason people use certain kind of language. There's a certain kind the language that people use means a lot. So if you say, oh well, this person's a different race than you are, you get that into your that becomes it's in your psyche now that okay, this person is completely different. They're a separate. They're not even. We're not even the same. We're completely different. Like there's nothing. Our skin is different. There's no commonalities. We're completely separate peoples. When it's kind of like it's that kind of language that's used to continuously perpetuate that us versus them mentality. And I mean, I don't know. I think deep down inside, some people they like that stuff. They like that whole. They like that conflict. I mean, some people like the conflict. Some people kind of like that whole, oh well, I'm better than you kind of thing. Like people like be feeling superior. That's, I mean, that's not exclusive to any one ethnicity. You know what I mean? There's some people who like just like feeling superior to other people, and it's like just continuously feeding people, feeding somebody's ego. It's like it makes them feel so much better. It's like, oh yeah, I feel so good. Oh man, like I know I'm better than them because I've been told my entire life that this person is like that. And then of course I think we were talking about right before the show. The whole issue of saying you got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. But I mean, how can you possibly do that in a situation where the system is it's like baked. They have baked in tenets that are like, yeah, you can't do this because you look this way. You can't do that because you come from a certain. And it got to the point where they couldn't even just say, hey, you can't do this because you're black, because then it's like you can't be overtly racist. Now you got to be subtly racist. Your racism has to be subtle now. It can't necessarily be outspoken racism. You have to say, oh well, you can't do this if you have this on your record, or you come from this. Oh, you come from this kind of neighborhood, and they'll definitely demonize you if you do that. Like if you come from a certain type of neighborhood, like, oh, don't associate with them. They come from that neighborhood, and then people, well, why don't I associate with them? What's wrong with that neighborhood? Oh, well, this happens over there, and this happens over there. There's crime. It's the whole thing with like the redlining and stuff like that. And then of course, what we're talking about is like you know, looking at like the communities and stuff, the black community and stuff. There've been several attempts to try to build up our people. Greenwood, Rosewood, of course, like Black Wall Street. I mean, what happened? I mean, those places were destroyed. It's not like oh man, they collapsed in on themselves like it was a failed experiment. No, they were destroyed. Those were places were
Mm-hmm.
destroyed. Not like it's not, and not even not like by outside forces. Outside forces came in and destroyed those communities. It's like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not like, and I think some of it has to do with jealousy, you know, like it's like, you know, I mean jealousy, just like, I mean it's like the Grinch, right? Like the Grinch is sitting up in his cave by himself, and he looks down and he sees the Who's in Whoville, and they're so grateful, so happy, they're so loving, they're like, you know, towards each other, they're thankful for everything they get. You know, they're having such a great time with them because they know they're around people that love them and care about them, and the Grinch can't stand it. What's with all this noise? All the noise, all their celebration and stuff like that. Why should they celebrate? Why should they have a good life, you know? So I mean, I think that's part of it. It's like, why should you get to have anything nice, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm that's how I feel about it. It's like you come down and you destroy the root of your problem, which is they're making too much noise about being happy. But you know what? The thing is that the story doesn't end there because I can't remember the exact instance it was, but I think a Red Cross worker, like they saw, like I think I'm not sure which town it was because there's so many, but one particular instance
Mm-hmm.
when like we had like a community of black people, their town was destroyed and they're all living in tents, and like I think it was I can't remember if it was like July or Christmas, but they basically did the exact same thing the Who's did in Whoville. They all came out, they all rounded up, they held hands, and they all started singing. So that's one of the other things about black. You can't keep us down. You cannot keep us down, no matter what. It's like we will continue to thrive no matter what. Like destroy, you can destroy our communities. You can oppress us. You can call the dogs. You can call out like you call the cops. Bring out rubber bullets, fire hoses, whatever. You crack skulls. Whatever. We'll still keep coming back. So and this is of course right now the protests and like what's going on, the uprising right now is just another example of the tenacity of not only African Americans in this country, but everyone, like all the people who've seen the injustice, who've been witness to the injustice, who've seen it and witnessed it first person, who've had it happen to them. They're tired of the garbage, and they're willing to get up and do something about it. You know, so I gotta tell you, I'm glad, I'm happy, I'm proud of everybody who's out there on the front lines making things happen.
Right.
So
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No, all good points. And going back to the whole system, I was thinking about this like last night today. It's kind of like people understand how the system works legally. Yeah, yeah. The way it's written on paper. That's how it's supposed to work. But a lot of people don't understand how it really works. And you know they can have rules, laws, and regulations, but just because those are written, the people in power, they don't necessarily have to follow that stuff. And
mm-hmm.
you see stuff come to light, and people bring truth to bad judges or mayors or governors. Our political system. You think those people are just all angels, and they just go to church every day and pray for people and just do the right thing on a daily basis. Like they put that stuff out in movies, books, news outlets, media outlets of all the corrupt, you know, political, governmental, agencies around the world. And I'm not saying all of them are bad, but the majority of them, is based off of, evil people. And a lot of people just they don't realize how these systems actually really work behind the scenes. That's why you see, you know, black people, a black person and a white person commit the exact same crime, same state, same city, but it's different outcomes.
Yep.
You gotta sit back and look at that and just be like, something's not right about that. Something is not right about that. Or a different minority, versus the majority, and the outcomes are typically different. And people just have to really, instead of just looking at the surface and just putting, like I like to use this analogy, you're the ostrich in the desert, and you just put your head in the sand, just hoping for the best, or If it doesn't affect me, then it's not real. Like it's not all, cookies and ice cream. That stuff isn't right. I hate to say fair, but because I hate using that term, but like fair across the board, it's not fair across the board. So, a lot of people have to really really, educate themselves, past the surface.
Yeah.
So, because there's a lot of surface people is like, oh, well, it should just work. It should, there shouldn't be any differences. I don't know. Like, no, that's not how that works. This is the real world.
Yep.
But so,
Yeah, yeah, you're right, Chris. It is. It definitely has to be more than on the surface. And another thing is, I'm tired of hearing the word systematic so much without actual explanation from the people who say it so much. In
mm-hmm,
conversation. When are we going to get past the
mm-hmm,
word conversations and actually get on the ground and actually make something that's going to be actual things of substance as far as laws,
Yeah.
rules, the people in
mm-hmm,
charge being changed, the races being thrown out of office, local and national government?
Yeah.
That
mm-hmm,
is the things that are going, because I hear all these companies put these PR statements out and talk about we're going to have the conversation. We're having conversations. We're trying to see until the people who are in charge are allowing the people who are oppressed to be the voice leading the conversation and leading the movement, it will never change.
mm-hmm,
That is what I
right.
feel. Until we as black people are allowed to sit at the head of the table, because how can you tell us what we need when you're not in our position?
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm,
and like Evan said, pull you up by your own bootstraps. How are you gonna tell me to pull your own bootstraps when you're not even in the boots that we're in?
mm-hmm,
You just think because we're human that, oh well, just do what our family does or do what they do or
Yeah.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I've just heard a lot of people speak up this week who really have no clue what they're talking about and really need to sit and listen. You know, they need to sit and listen for the first time in their life instead of sitting there always asking, how can we help? I've heard that my whole life. How can we help? And they just say it and then get back to their lives once, things die down. And in order to help, there must be sacrifice.
Yeah.
mm-hmm,
And I'm not sure if certain people are willing to sacrifice. I am glad to see all the protests and all of that, but the laws have to change. The
Yeah.
people in charge have to change in order for us as black people to finally get the respect that we deserve. Because
mm-hmm,
right now, it's great what's going on, but I know voting doesn't do everything, but November 3rd, keep the same energy.
Yep.
I want to make sure on November 3rd you keep the same energy. And that
mm-hmm,
has to be a priority because it's different things that you need. You need voting. You need people's mindsets. You need people to be raised right. It's multi different levels, like you said, Chris, that have to change. And we have to stay in this. This cannot be just a feeling. It has to be now ingrained in you from this point forward until you're gone, that you're going to be part of the solution instead of part of the problem. Because you can't be both.
Yeah.
You're either part of the solution or you're part of the problem. There's no such thing as neutral when it comes to this,
Yeah.
because we all interact with each other as people. We all interact with somebody. We all make money off of certain cultures and what they do. And yes, that is the truth. I don't want to hear about I don't see color. That is the truth. We all are in this on a certain level. And this is not political. This is human based.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with politics. This is just being human. And we as people, we have to stop putting our head in the sand, like Chris said, and actually get out here and do it. I don't care if you're a gamer. I don't care if you're not a gamer. This affects us all. And the people who sit on the sidelines, it's going to come back around on you. I guarantee it.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. It's funny. We have one of our chatters in chat that said like that's what I think a lot of people don't understand. Just because it doesn't directly affect them doesn't mean it doesn't affect them in ways they don't realize.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
so true.
know.
That's so true.
Yeah,
And
because I want to make a point about a lot of people sit here and say it's not political, but those same people didn't keep the same energy when COVID happened and places were closed because thousands of people were dying. They sure didn't keep the same energy. They were protesting. I saw people out here with actual petitions. They wanted to send to Austin, to the state capitol, to open arcades. Yeah, I'm calling you out. You did not say anything about the Black Lives Matter movement. You know,
Yeah.
that is the truth. But you're worried about an arcade, but you're not worried about systematic oppression. When you're making money off of those same people, think about that for a second.
Yeah.
You know
mm,
that is to me doesn't click.
Yeah.
We're
Mm,
talking about a place versus actual people's lives.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, but you're okay taking the money from those people who are being systematically and having police brutality done to them. You're fine with taking their money.
Hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and uh, yeah, going back to people just having, like you said, just conversation. Both of you guys, just, taking action. And I think it's going to take more than just people voting, and that's a part of it. Don't get me wrong, but it shouldn't. I said this before. It shouldn't take laws and register, and different regulations to stop an evil treatment of a culture.
Yeah.
Because it had to be written in the law, or a memo. Then it's not genuine. It's not genuine, and it's gotten so bad where, yeah, that stuff is now required.
Yeah.
Definitely, I definitely want it now because things are getting so bad.
Yeah.
And just going back to the different, the police force, like they need to start all over. Like
Yeah.
they need to start from the
Absolutely.
ground zero, because I'm
Absolutely.
sorry, the wrong people are police officers, and whoever's giving them the orders of how they do their training, that those people need to go away. Those are people who need to go away. It's almost like they're not human. It's like they're terminators, or they're uh they're like robots. They're like RoboCop. They have no feelings. But they have families, though. That's what I don't understand. It's like they most of these police officers can't have families. There's no way. There's no way. And you're treating your community that way.
Yeah.
But it's because they don't care. And I'm not saying all of them, because people are like, oh, all of them aren't bad. Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
they start to say
All
that.
of them, yeah, all of them aren't bad, but the majority. And see, here's the thing: they always say, oh, it's a few bad apples. No, it's the other way around. It's a few good apples among a bunch of bad apples. That's how it is. It's not, oh, a few bad apples. Because if it was a few bad apples, we wouldn't be talking about this right now.
Yeah.
Straight up. So I'm sick of that conversation. Like, oh, it's just a few bad apples. Nah, it's the other way around. Sorry. So, because they support each other. When someone does something wrong, they're not stepping up. They're doing it now. You see a few of them stepping up now, but back in the day, no, they were supporting their own, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So their whole the whole idea behind police in our country, that needs they need to start all over,
Yeah.
because their history is based off of racism. I'm sorry, it is. It's based off of racism. So you need to start all over, because their history is bad. So they need to go, they need to go back to the drawing board. I'm sorry. That's the only way that's going to start to change. Is go all the way back to the drawing board. You're going to have to get rid of, police chiefs, or huge law enforcement. You start all over, new hiring process, everything, because it's not going to change if you keep the same people in the system, but you just change regulations. You got to get rid of those people and then start all over. So
Yeah.
that's my point.
Yeah, I kind of I agree with that. I also think like there's some policies that they definitely need to be changed in regards to like especially like police, like for shootings, for example, if there's a shooting and you're a normal human, like you're just a normal civilian, and there's a shooting and you're the shooter, you're involved in the shooting, and they come to your house, like they come to you, they what's called they take you in, they question you, they they might book you, they do whatever they got to, they process you, they do all that. But if you're a police
Mm-hmm.
officer and like for instance, you remember when that one lady walked into that guy's house and like she shot him, you know,
Yeah.
it's it's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, so the police come and they basically look at everything and they say, all right, well, go home. Basically, they let you go home for 3 days, so you have time to get your story straight.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
it's like, wait a minute, why are you, why are you treated so differently from like from like normal people? Like why do they get that kind of special treatment? I mean, especially in situations like what happens with like, I mean, all the time. They had that one lady. She is sitting in her house playing video games with her nephew, and they just walk in and they just they just shoot her. For what reason? There was no reason for you to have your guns out in the first place. But it makes no sense. And it's like they were like, well, just go home, get your story straight, man, and we'll see you in 3 days. I mean, all these like a policy that's in my opinion, put in specifically to protect police from their own actions. It's like, oh well, I can do this, and then I have time to go ahead and get my story straight. It's whatever, man. I mean, I'm definitely sure they're not all as cavalier about it like that. But the fact is that they get a lot more leeway on stuff like that than a normal civilian does. I mean, taking a civilian who's probably already on an adrenaline high, they have no idea sometimes what has happened, and you take them and put them in a police station, and you start telling them this is going to happen to you, and this is going to happen to you, and you're going to go to prison for X amount of years if you don't tell us right now that you did it. Like you guys remember the whole thing with like the kids in fucking Central Park, the people put in jail for like most of their lives.
Yeah.
Basically because like the cops basically told them, oh, this kid, number one, they took them like they're kids and they're questioning them by themselves. They take them and they tell them, this kid said that you did it, and this kid said, they're telling each other that the other guy said that they did it, and it's like, and if you confess, we'll confess that this happened, then we'll let you go. We won't do anything. And then of course, like they all confess because they're kids, and then their parents come in, and what happens? Their parents, they're afraid of the cops. So they're just like, hey man, just tell them whatever they want to hear, And it's like, tell them whatever they want to hear. And they did. And they went to freaking prison for most of their lives. You can't give them that time back,
No.
And that's another thing, man. I don't mean to get too political, man, but I don't know how anybody could vote for Donald Trump knowing the kind of stuff that he did at that time. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, he put an ad in the paper basically calling for oh man, they're doing this stuff to our people in Central Park and all over the place. We need to crack down on this kind of crime and stuff or whatever. It's like these kids and stuff, blah blah blah, and it's just like, yo, they didn't even do it. And even afterwards, he refused to even apologize about spreading that stuff. And it's like, come on, man. Like, you can't even just say, oh, I'm sorry, I was in the wrong. He refused to admit he was wrong for people that were wrongly accused. They were wrongly accused. Well, they probably did something. They're probably guilty of doing something. I mean, even if that was the case, that doesn't matter. It's not applicable to this situation. So what are you talking about? You're okay with just like they're saying, well, he didn't kill that person, but he might have stolen some candy from a store a long time ago. Lock him up. Like,
and it's two sides to the whole justice system when it comes to innocent until proven guilty. Well, there's another side of that, guilty until proven innocent.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
a lot of minorities get the guilty until proven innocent treatment, whereas everybody else is like, oh, innocent until proven guilty. Oh, that's how it should work. But they don't see the other side of that.
Oh yeah.
No, there's two ways to it. There's two ways to that. So but
you're right.
Like racial profiling and stuff like that. That's still a thing. People thought, oh well, that's
Mm-hmm.
still going on. I got stopped when I was in Philadelphia because I fit a description. I had just gotten a haircut.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, I was feeling fresh. I was like, oh man, look at me, bro. I can't wait to go back home and take some pictures and put it up on for on dating websites or whatever. I was like, Tinder, here I come. So I'm walking back and I see a police. You ever see a police car driving, and you just know, oh man, oh man, here it goes.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm like walking. I'm like, I just got a feeling. So the cop gets out of the car. He's like, come here, man. I'm like, oh man, come on, dude. I'm like, yeah, well, what seems to be the problem, officer? And it's like, yeah, we had somebody get robbed over here, and you fit the description. So they had like another police car drive in, and like three other cops got out, and they made me put my hands on the car, and they're like, I have my hands up. I was like, all right, man. And they're like, you don't need to put your hands up, and I'm like, yeah, I think I do actually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, don't grab for nothing.
I think I do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, they're like, oh, well, where's it? Like, I got my wallet on me. You can check my wallet, man. Like, it's right there. I'm not gonna reach for it. You're gonna have to get it for me. I don't
Yep.
want.
Yep.
I'm not.
Yep.
I'm, no,
Don't reach
nope.
for nothing. They think
Um,
you Yosemite Sam.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
not
because
doing it.
wallets look like guns. So
Yeah.
Oh,
hey,
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Wallet. They
hey.
suspicious. They look suspiciously like guns for some reason.
No, that they
Mm-hmm.
are crystally clear mirror images of each other.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
So
But yeah, mm,
yeah, so like I mean, I'm like, and then they had another car come and like be like, oh, and have me stand out in the middle of the street and have these guys like look at the screen and look up and be like, is that the guy? Nah, it's
wow,
not the guy. I'm just like,
Oh man.
wow, yeah, yeah. That I don't know what kind of training, uh, like, well, going back to the whole, racial profiling and getting the wrong guy. I don't know if you guys saw it. I think you guys might have seen the video where where they run up on this black guy and they're like, oh yeah, you fit the description, and they arrest him, and then all of a sudden they find out he's an undercover FBI agent.
oh my
Incredible.
god.
Boy, he read them
Yeah.
their rights.
Yeah.
Done. Cause I heard he got their badges or something like that. I don't know, but wow, you racially profiled a black guy who is an FBI agent. Like that
That says it all.
motivates me, man.
Yeah.
That motivates me. But yeah, but going back to the whole, like, they're trained, like when they show up with guns out, like, I don't know what it is, the difference between law enforcement and military, like, because I'm a veteran, not a lot of people know, and I don't really boast about it all the time unless it's warranted, and it's usually a negative reason why I have to, or just a normal conversation. But
Yeah.
we were trained, we couldn't shoot the enemy first. Like, the enemy would have to shoot first before we turn fire. And, that's just rules of engagement. Whereas, police officers, they're guns drawn first. And it's just like, are they trained in fear? Because we were literally trained to have like no fear. So it's like their training is like the total opposite. And I think that's a place where they really need to change, is their training. Because if you're trained in fear, why are you a police officer?
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
And they have way too much power. I'm sorry, they have way too much power. You get somebody who's bullied, bullied in school, or got some secret mental issues or anger problems, and you give them a badge and a gun. Of course they're gonna wrongfully hurt somebody or kill somebody. Like,
Yeah.
you're hiring. You want to talk, and social media is like, oh, those thugs rioting. You're hiring thugs. Sorry, you're hiring thugs in
Yep.
your police departments.
Yeah.
Like, you're the biggest gang. You're one of the biggest gangs in America. Is the police force. You've seen and heard, like, New York officers and police officers in California back in the day. Yeah, we're a gang. They called themselves a gang back in the day. So it's just like, come on, like, this is ridiculous. And people, I just don't get how they're trained to have fear, but they're using power to intimidate people, but you're scared. It's like, oh, and every time there's an incident, oh, I feared for my life.
Oh
Really, dude?
man, that
You feared
line.
for
Yeah.
your life?
That's a go-to.
Then why are you a police officer? You fear for your life. Like, I have more respect for, firefighters have more courage than you. Like, and they deal with, situations that are above their power, but they put their life on the line to try to save people in those horrible situations. But you fear for your life. Why are you a police officer? Like, get out of here. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, man. Fire can't be negotiated with. Like you don't even bother like sit there like to be like try to like talk the situation down. I mean, you have that power. You can do that. But instead, it's like, oh yeah, I don't know, man. They might shoot me, so yeah, I better get them first. Like, come on, man.
Right.
Yeah. You're right about that.
It's like I'm afraid I might get hurt, so I can't take that risk. Sorry.
Right, exactly. Like I'll never understand that because I'm thinking they're on the same page as well, not really thinking they're on the same page as military, but it's like, oh, okay, back then, when I was in, I was like, okay, they probably have similar training, but nah, you're trained in fear, and we're trained to not have fear. So, yeah, you guys need to start all over, like scratch. Sorry, you
Yeah.
can change all the rules and regulations all you want to. No, uh, police around the world in different cities and states, they need to start all over from scratch. So yeah, yeah.
Totally agree with that one.
So
Oh man. Well, I'd like to talk about for a minute, like since we're talking about the Black Lives Matter movement, like we would talk about some of the companies that have actually come out in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. Like Sony, for instance, the Sony PlayStation, they've decided to push back their reveal of the PlayStation 5. I know some people are disappointed, but I mean, like, let's be honest, it's kind of that kind of it's that kind of deal. Also, Capcom pushed back the has postponed the Pro Tour. Now, neither one has really given any kind of like any date for when they're going to be back up. But I think the fact that they did it in the first place, is a pretty good gesture. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's a really good gesture that they did that, especially with Sony being a Japanese company, showing that they, no matter where they're from, that they are supporting us and saying that the reveal of the PlayStation 5 is not more important than the lives of people that play their games. Because as we all know, a lot of black people do play video games, and I'm interested to see what Sony does going forward. Just besides putting a statement out,
Yeah,
if they do put money towards different foundations that are trying to help the cause. Also, will they start having more people in the company that are black, especially in America, the American branch of their company? And as far as Capcom, I am happy to see them also push back the Capcom Pro Tour, because it would have been a bad look if they had pushed it back for COVID, but not for the Black Lives Matter
yeah,
movement, you know, because each one has really affected this country, on a massive level. And I just really happy to see both companies acknowledge what's going on with us as a community and as a country, and also will they moving forward put money towards the cause and also look at their hiring process.
right, yeah. I think since we're a central we're based around gaming show. I think that any company who you know recognizes what's going on is a first step. you know, and actually, and then what's better than that, if not, they recognize it, that's the first step of, what's going on, the situation, and then they take action,
yeah,
whether it's, supporting their, minorities and their companies or their games or organizations, to, take the steps further and actually, taking action. Because, anybody can make a statement, and that's great,
yeah,
but you also need to take action. That doesn't matter, what the details are, as long as you're taking action and actually showing the community and the minorities that are working for you, and anybody that's working for you, that this is an important topic, important situation, and important time in history, and you're taking a stance on it. And that's my view on it. As long as you take it steps further, then you're good in my book. I definitely commend the various companies that have made statements and even taken some action uh, on the situation. So
yeah. Uh, Speaking of people taking action, like actual real action, apparently Square Enix is like they're pledging like $250,000, to like and they're actually matching employee donations from to like charities and stuff. I mean, pretty huge actually, that they would come out like in like support like that. They're saying, instead of being like, okay, we're just doing a statement, no, we're actually doing something. We're making making a statement, but we're also taking a stand and putting resources towards, like, stamping out injustice here in our world. I mean, I think that's huge to me. That's a really huge deal. You know.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, it
right.
is. It really is. I'm really proud of Square Enix that they are putting money towards the cause, and also, like I said, matching employee donations. They are going further than any other company, I believe, right now, as far as really putting money towards the cause, and they deserve major props for doing that
Hmm.
because they didn't have to. So that lets me know that they really do care, and they're looking for solutions, not just statements.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they spoke, whether it's, you're out there on the front lines, or, you speak with your wallet, or, you do more for your, minorities, that your employees, they took it, steps further. That's what, that's what counts. So, no, I definitely commend them. Most of us grew up, on their Final Fantasy games, and,
Mm-hmm.
other games that they've, created. But, they're a huge name in a lot of gamer households. So, I definitely commend them for stepping up like that. So, yeah, definitely. You guys can, anybody that, saw that post, if you're able to donate something, or, help spread the word, then do it. Help them, spread the word and awareness.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you hear though, like, what's called the EVO has donated what down with like $7,500 to the NAACP. Like, I mean, it's a big deal. That's another deal. Like, I mean, like I said, like, people are really stepping up and you know, really really supporting the movement. Like, they're really supporting the movement. Um, I mean, also in addition, like, they said they partnered up with Project Hope. So
Hmm.
I
Yes.
mean, yeah, it's
Yeah, mm,
go ahead.
yeah, they also did 7,500 to the Visit Lake Street organization as well. So total 15,000
Yeah,
for the whole thing. So now I'm sure they're gonna do other uh projects to, fight the cause. So no, that's real good that they're doing that.
yeah,
So.
Yeah, yeah. I'm very impressed by Evo putting $15,000 for towards the cause because nobody saw that coming, and
Mm,
them actually dealing with a company in Minneapolis is very impressive too.
yeah,
And
right.
dealing with systematic oppression and racism, and also them not just giving it NAACP but giving it to the Legal Defense Fund, which is the people that are on trial or in jail. They didn't give it to the generic NAACP, the Legal Defense Fund. I'm very impressed by that because
Hmm.
I've heard a lot of criticism about Evo as a company and all that. And I just want to get into a conversation I had with somebody very prominent in the NRS community about this. That
Hmm.
really disappointed me, saying that Evo should have given more money towards the Black Lives Matter movement because of how much they do make. I responded with, how much money is the FGC giving? Has
Hmm.
anybody seen any other company give money towards the Black Lives Matter movement or COVID? You know, I have not. You know,
Hmm.
and I heard them saying, "Oh, they're just doing it for PR, da 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 da." Whatever they're doing it for, they deserve a real, kudos because this is bigger than gaming.
yeah,
And I think the person I spoke with, we went back and forth on Wednesday night about this. This is way bigger than gaming. And any type of money that is going to help out the cause for Black Lives Matter is very well appreciated because I've seen a lot of statements from FGC people, but as far as giving money towards it and really trying to help, I have not seen. So, I'll be the one if I'm the only one who will give Evo credit. I don't want to hear about the games and then Mr. Wizard and what he's done. They stepped up to the cause and that they should have
Hmm.
given more money. Well, how much are you giving? Because I
yeah,
told the person, I'm not going to complain about Evo giving 15,000 until I give that amount.
yeah,
Until I
Hmm.
have the ability to give that kind of amount, I am not going to do that. And I was just very disappointed that this person was just like, oh well, the Mr. Wizard's a millionaire. I'm not going to count nobody's pockets.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Mm,
I'm not going to do that. I just know that they stepped up to the plate. It goes back to what
yeah.
Chris said. Are you trying to get there, or are you there at the top? And they have shown
Mm,
that more than one way that they are at the top of the pyramid when it comes to FGC, and not just saying, "Well, we're almost close to EVO. It's going to cost this amount of money." Uh, we don't have the time or the funds to be giving towards Black Lives Matter. So they deserve a tremendous amount of credit for stepping up to the plate and acknowledging that there are situations and putting the FGC on the map as far as showing that we do care. And I have not seen enough people in the FGC give Evo their due credit for stepping up and giving this donation.
Mm-hmm.
mm. I mean, I got a few points on that.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy who, whoever you were talking to,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I'm
yeah,
not going to call him out. He doesn't deserve
he
the
could
credit.
have, he could have doubled, he could have doubled it, doubled the 15,000, given 30, show him how it's done.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Put your
Show him
money
how
where your
it's
mouth
done.
is.
Put
Put your
your
money where your mouth
30K
is.
up,
Yeah,
put your 30K up, and then you guys go back and forth and play big bank, little bank. There you go. I mean,
yeah,
it's just like the people who, in Evo Pass, when they're mad that their game doesn't make it, and it's like, oh, there's a organizer that wants to organize to have a side tournament, but no one else wants to throw up money to support it. It's the same people, same type of people who complain all day, all year, all long, and don't give no money up. Like
Yeah.
like they say, put up or shut up. You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
that that's what I would have said to him. But yeah, and Evo definitely has taken the lead, and I hope that other companies do step up and support that way, because you got to think, you know, Evo is not going to be on the same level as it is this year, and we all know why. But that stuff costs money, and they're
Yeah.
literally digging out of their pocket, not because they just made money from this year's Evo, which is free, by the way.
Yeah.
Evo's free, by the way. So they're coughing up money to donate, excuse me, to a good cause. But you want to complain about them, but until I see other people stepping up that's in that same realm as them, because yeah, statements here and there, that's fine and dandy, but until you actually really take action, it's just going to be a statement. So, and they you know one of the few first ones that are FGC wise that are taking the lead, and actually donating to some great causes. So I don't know what to tell these people that keep complaining about stuff that it isn't worth complaining about.
Yeah.
So
Like,
yeah, I'm definitely commend them for doing that.
yeah, because like I said, like, why are you counting other people's money, man? Like, what sense does that make? You're saying, like, oh, well, they should have
Hmm.
donated more money. It's like, what? Like I said, what have you done? What have you donated? Like,
yeah,
if you can match or
Hmm.
exceed that, then great, do that. But I mean, there's no point in criticizing somebody for giving the money that they gave. Like, any money is good. Yeah, I think people kind of like, oh well, you have this X amount of money, so why didn't you donate this amount of money? It's like that's not really the point. You miss the point completely. The point isn't, oh, I have this, he has this much money, so he should be doing like, so a quarter of this is like, or a tenth of this is that. No, it's not. That's not the point. The point is that you support the movement in any which way you can. That's the important thing. Like, forget about the amount. Focus on the fact that there was support given. There was aid asked for, aid given. That's the important thing. I don't. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to sit there and be like, oh well, you didn't give that much money, so I mean, you didn't give any. So I mean, if like maybe you didn't, maybe you gave some, maybe you didn't. I can't say for sure, but I don't. There's nothing to be gained by criticizing people for giving money. There's,
Hmm.
no,
or how
no,
much you think they should have given. I mean, what you think is irrelevant. Like, let's be honest. What people do with their money, like what your thoughts are on how like they support the movement, I mean, for the money they give, it's completely irrelevant. You know, you got to
Mm,
focus on what you can do. If it's really that important to you, then you got to focus on what you can do and what you have to offer to the movement. Like focus on what you can do, not on what like other people may or may not have done. You know, that's it's completely it doesn't make any sense. Um,
right.
No.
uh, that's I'm sad. It kind of saddens me that you even had that conversation in the first place. You know,
Oh
with
yeah, yeah. I had to call this person out, because I was tired of this bashing of Evo and what people are trying to do. Because either you're part of the solution or the problem.
yeah,
Evo seems they're trying to be part of the solution.
yeah,
I don't know about the person that I talked to. They're trying to be part of the solution or problem because sitting there complaining on Twitter, it does no good.
yeah. It really
It
doesn't.
absolutely does no good right now. And what do you want to be remembered for is even bigger than this. And obviously Evo wants to be remembered for being a part of the solution.
Yeah,
So
Hmm.
they need to be given kudos. And it seems like a lot of these gamers, because there's other people who are dismissing this and poo-pooing this, and they seem to understand this is bigger than gaming. This isn't about Evo 2011 or 12 or 15 or 16 to have your favorite game. Like Chris said, this is way bigger than that. And you need to get your head out of the sand and realize that they are stepping up to the plate for something that's way bigger. Because last time I checked, there's a lot of black people that go to Evo and support the FGC.
yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but there's a few.
Hmm.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely
Yeah.
definitely.
So as far as the black people in the FGC, they need to be giving them kudos because I don't know about you guys, I didn't see a lot of tweets. I really did not see a lot of tweets from the black FGC out there, the prominent members about Evo stepping up to support us.
Mm,
Hmm.
Until you know for sure, please do not call it out as just some PR stunt.
yeah,
Do not
Hmm.
do that because you cannot sit there and judge another man's heart until you have that conversation with him face to face.
yeah. For real, that's 100%. You know, you really can't. And even after you have that conversation, it's not even
Yeah.
even then you can't really judge them on that. You know,
No.
you're like we're
Until
not.
you step up to the plate, like you said, big bank, little bank, like Chris said,
Yeah,
you
Hmm.
cannot sit there and do that.
yeah.
You know.
Yep.
So, yeah.
All right. I think like we can move like a little bit on the I mean not so lighter side of things, but apparently they said that the Dragon Ball Fighters tour has been canceled, like straight up, not pushed back, but canceled. Um,
Hmm.
what's the deal with the cancellation?
Yeah, they let's see. Yeah, the producer canceled it. She just basically canceled it, due to what's going on. But we haven't gotten any further information behind that by yet. So, but it's we don't blame, I don't blame them for, making big decisions uh like that, because look what's going on, COVID and the riots and stuff. So it's
Yeah,
just, it's just something that, it's just not the time right now. It's
yeah, it
really
really
not the
isn't.
time for big, you know in person,
No.
online. I mean, online is okay, but like in person events is just not the time. It's just not really possible to really be fully engaged and really capable of just putting on a huge production, having people able to come travel,
Yeah,
financially and just, mentally. It's just not the time. Yeah, we all want it, but it's really not the time. Like, people aren't ready for it. What's going on in the world? It's just, until we get some type of in a situation where things are really, more normal and calm, and things are taken care of the way that they're supposed to, it's never going to be the right time.
yeah, yeah,
So I think this year it's pretty much done. People are going back and forth. Oh, I'm waiting on this event to happen, and not giving people updates, or it got canceled. Oh, I'm upset. Like, bro, this year is done. 2020 is done. So
yeah.
we just have
Pretty
to look
much.
forward to 2021, to see if things are in a better position, and that's across the board, not just gaming, across the board. If things are or in a better position, then yeah, maybe we can get to back to a more normal, steady life. But right now, it's not the time. It's not. So, but I don't know if you guys have more details on that.
Not really, but yeah, I want to just give them credit for go ahead and canceling. I mean, it's just not the time. You
Yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
don't try to say this year is just not it's not gonna go the way that we all thought it would and wanted to. And I don't know what Capcom Pro Tour is gonna do. And not trying to throw them under the bus or nothing, but it's just we don't know how long the protests and riots are gonna go on, and it's just a year where nobody saw what was coming with COVID and all the protests and everything. And I think that Bandai Namco made the right move with canceling the Fighters World Tour.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. It's kind of like I said, it's not the time, man. It wasn't really the time before the protest started, but it's doubling up the time now. It's there's
Mm-hmm.
just so many more issues going on right now. There's just so much stuff going on right now. It's just like, nah, man. It's just not the time, and it might not be the time for a while, man. Because I mean, we are still technically dealing with COVID right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
even though
Yep.
the protests and the deaths that have been going on have moved to the forefront, and they are the most important. They are the most important thing right now. But we are still, even through all of that, we're still having issues with COVID. Like that's still a thing, like kind of looming in the background. What even right now. So I mean, and I'm and to a lesser effect, that the one issue that everybody kind of like thought about for a bit and they kind of forgot were the murder hornets that showed up here in the states. And then like I mean, all of a sudden all of a sudden we kind of just forgot about them. But I mean, what if those are still? I mean, can you
Mm-hmm.
imagine if those are still around? I don't know. I haven't heard anything about those in a hot minute, man.
Yeah,
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 I need to look into that to make sure people are actually actively taking care of that situation. You don't want
yeah,
those things
definitely.
flying around.
Yeah, they look as big as baseballs on websites. So yeah,
What?
I definitely don't want that. I definitely don't
No,
want that.
they're as big as like the palm of your hand. They're pretty big. They're pretty big, bro. They're
Yeah,
pretty big.
might be looking into a flamethrower.
They're pretty big.
Wow.
Because yeah, I want no parts of that.
Yeah, exactly. Zero parts of that, man. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, and in the same vein, we're talking about like Capcom. We're gonna talk about like they said that Capcom announced that Street Fighter Five is going to be getting a Season 5 DLC plus
Oh
costume
boy, here we
contest.
go.
Costume
Here
contest.
we go.
So,
Bro,
all right,
bro.
you know what? What do you? All right, so let's get you guys' thoughts on this real quick.
Oh
Okay,
boy.
bro. I kind of had a feeling that it wasn't over, and even Maximilian was like, "Oh yeah, it's done." Because, and I quoted him too. He was like, "Yeah, they did Seth. There's no way they'd be able to just reprogram more characters because Seth, he has a move from every character in the game." And so I was just like, "Okay, that kind of does make sense." But I'm like, knowing Capcom, it ain't over because I didn't get some of the characters that I wanted in the game. And so season 5, they're promising that it's going to be good as far as the characters, and some of the characters have already been leaked as far as possibly coming into the game. We got a lot of people are mad about this, but Elena might be coming. DiCaprio, she might
Hmm.
be coming in. Of course, they got my girl Rose. I will be
Oh,
happy
they're bringing back
if they
Rose.
put my girl Rose. Yes, Rose, Oro, and
El Forte.
um, nah,
Ah!
bro, nah,
Ah!
bro, nah, he ain't coming
El
back, bro.
Fuerte.
But
Oh
but
man.
Rose, Oro, and Makoto is very popular. She's like
Yeah.
extremely popular. But I'm hoping, Rose, Oro, and Saddam. That's my pick. That's my pick. If they put all of them in the game, oh, I'm back on full force. I'm back on. And I think also, Maximilian was saying that these are characters that they might have been working on and just didn't get put in the game because he was saying like how they had Birdie done and Saddam done, and they were like, all right, we're going with Birdie. So this content might have already been done, and they're just like, hey, well, we're dealing with this situation right now. We might as well just put it out, just finish it and put it out. So if that's the case, let's get some more. Let's get some, fan service. Give us our characters so people can finally play this game, and I'll be happy with it. But it could go either way. It could go either way. Capcom. It's Capcom. They always got something in their pocket.
Yeah.
So, but I can't wait to see what they who they decide to put in. Hopefully it's some characters that I look forward to playing.
Yeah.
So we'll see. So yeah.
Let's see. What you call it? Octavian, our boy TVFGC says, yeah, I heard Rose, Oro, Elena, Rolento, and maybe somebody.
Yeah, Rolento.
Rolento.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Ooh. If he is as strong as he was in Street Fighter 4,
let's go.
It's gonna be between him and Elena, because I don't know why Elena was getting so much hate. I guess she got a lot of hate in Street Fighter 4 towards the end. She got a lot of hate, and people who to this day they're like, no, we do not want her in Street Fighter 5.
Dang.
I had no problem with her because I was rocking with her in Third Strike, so I'm all for it, and Street Fighter Cross Tekken, so I'm all for it. But yeah, if they put, and of course, Dan is teased in the store when you go click on the in-game store. His sister from out of nowhere is like, Dan Hibiki will come out next, so he has a good chance of being in, because I mean you can't have a Street Fighter game without Dan. I mean he's the comedy Shoto. Dan has proved himself. I have to wait till
season 10.
Dan has proved himself. Dan has proved himself. He's the comic relief.
I don't know what he did to Ono, though.
He's the comic Shoto. Hey, bro.
Ono has a hate for him. There's no doubt. I don't know why.
Hey,
I can tell. Ono must have some hate for him. I don't know why.
Nah, he ain't got no hate for him.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see if there's a season 10, because I think that's the season he'll come out.
I'd like to see Sean again, to be honest with you. Like, outside of the.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
With Sean. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I don't know.
There's a few characters that Ono got a lot of hate for, though.
My issue with the Street Fighter series in general is that they always have, like, it seems like in terms of the storyline, they're always kind of skipping around, so you're not completely sure. I mean, it feels like okay, this is naturally Street Fighter 4 and then Street Fighter 5, but then like I don't know, man.
They don't ever put my boy DJ in there either.
DJ.
I mean,
they never will.
A lot of he was in 4. He was in 4.
Yeah.
You didn't play 4?
I mean, I just know that he's dead after 4 for some reason.
What? But that was the last. What are you talking about, bro? That was the last game, though.
I'm sorry.
Put him in this one.
You never hear DJ about season 5. I mean, Street Fighter 5. You never hear any rumors.
Bro, he got his time in 4. I'm sorry. I need Rose. I need Rose, Oro, and Saddam. We ain't seen them in a minute.
He had his time.
I mean, Rose is my favorite, so I'm kind of biased. Rose is one of my favorites.
I love
but
DJ.
we ain't seen. I like DJ too, but he had his time in 4.
Oh man,
he had his time in 4.
What do you do? You take him out bad? You take him out bad?
No. It's just a lot of people. A lot of people still asking for people from 4. Like, why? They just were in the last game. Sorry.
He's awesome.
I mean, technically speaking, this was my like. You could say that about like Ryu and Ken. It's like they're in every game. Why do they got to be in Street Fighter again?
Yeah, bro. Let's not go there. Because they almost messed up Street Fighter 3 with that. They almost messed up with Street Fighter 3.
Freaking, I remember they said like Sean used to be freaking beast, and then they were like, oh man, you know what? We can't have like 3 powerful Shotos. Like, I mean, can you imagine if like they had like said, hey, you know what? We're gonna take Ryu and Ken out of the game for a while, and then like just replace them with just Sean, like just just Sean by himself.
They
Bro,
almost did it, bro.
that would
Man,
have
you
been
have a
Bro,
rag
sick.
on your
you
hand.
didn't hear about?
Yama.
Nah, bro, because they had Street Fighter 3. They did some like they had people test it out, and it was horrible. It was horrible. No Ryu and no Ken, and they were like, "What the
Riot.
hell is this game? This ain't Street Fighter, bro." They were like, "Uh-oh, yeah, we got to put them in. We can't do this," because they were trying to do
Come on.
something different and new. They were trying to do the next, iteration of Street Fighter,
Yeah,
with no Ken or Ryu,
yeah.
and it
Uh,
didn't work. It didn't
they're
work.
the faces of the game.
I would say.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
you can't.
it's like,
They're
and
the
this is
faces
why,
of the game.
like, and this I hate to even say this, but this is why when people are like, well, why Capcom do this? Why does Capcom like not like in some cases not really innovate? In some cases, is because anytime they try to do anything new, they always get some kind of crazy backlash about it, and you know what I mean. And especially if it's an established franchise and they try to make a big change, they always get huge backlash for it. It happened then,
Yeah.
and it happened in Breath of Fire too, for certain. You remember Breath of Fire 1, 2, 3, 4, everybody loved those games. Breath of Fire 5, when they said, okay, we're going to be doing like a different kind of style with the gameplay, and then people like were like, oh man, this game sucks. This game sucks. I'm like,
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
I had a buddy, I have a friend of mine who says that, well, it's not a bad RPG game, it's just a bad Breath of Fire game. And I'm like, nah, dude. Nah.
Yeah.
Because it's like what constitutes a quote unquote good Breath of Fire game. You know what I mean? Like it has like the main character as Ryu. Yeah. See, we even got Ryu in another game.
Yeah. Nah, yeah.
It's got Ryu.
Yeah,
It's got Nina. It's got a
mhm.
dude that can turn into a dragon. I mean, what else do you need? What else does there need to be other than Ryu, Nina, and the ability for Ryu to turn into a dragon for it to be a good Breath of Fire game? I mean, how could it be a good art? How could it not be a bad? How could it be a bad like an okay a good RPG but not be a good Breath of Fire game? You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh well, it wasn't like the other ones. That's I'm sorry, that's just not like a good reason to me. You know. Like for like
Yeah.
saying, this game wasn't like the other one, so that by definition it's garbage. It's like, no, dude, it's just a different kind of game. The game doesn't need to be the same every single time for it to be a good game in the franchise. It's if you don't like that kind of type of game, that's different. You know, if that's
Right.
not your kind of if that's not what you like to see, that's different. That okay, fine. You have a preference. Everybody has preferences. But to be like to try to make a definitive statement about the quality of a game, like to say, you know what I mean? Like, if say, oh, Street Fighter sucks now because Ken and Ryu aren't in it. I mean,
Oh, you would hear it though.
yeah, I mean,
You
if you were to
definitely
take,
would hear it.
Yeah,
You
it
know.
would be a little
Yeah.
weird not seeing them in it.
yeah,
That'd
Yeah.
be kind of weird.
I mean, it would be weird, but would it necessarily be a bad game because they're not in it?
No, but people don't think that deep.
You know,
I agree
No,
with you, Evan.
story wise, it would be a bad game. Like story wise, it would be because it would just be okay. Well, don't no
Yeah.
story then. You couldn't
Yeah,
have a
because
story.
yeah, but let's be honest,
Those
bro.
are the center characters of the game.
Satsu-
Those are
Watch it now, because people were upset. There wasn't no arcade or story mode. So
Yeah.
yeah,
watch
but like, I mean, how far can you take like the whole thing with
the
Ryu
casuals
and
love arcade and story mode.
the
Casuals
Satsui
love
no
that.
Hado and stuff like that? How much further are we gonna take that? You know what I mean? It's like, oh my god, Ryu is so strong. But then he can turn into evil Ryu and stuff like that. It's like, all right, man, how much further are you gonna take that? You know what I mean? Like he's
I
got
understand.
this hidden power.
I mean, it's. I mean, until you branch into other characters where they take their position, like Ken's son, Sean, fighting under Ken.
But they already tried to do that.
Ryu with Sakura. No, but I'm saying they need to find a way to transition to where, because I always thought like Street Fighter 3, before it even came out, I was like, okay, Ken and Ryu are gonna be like old, or gonna be like older. And yeah, they were a little bit older, but it was just like, they didn't really decide to make that transition. So maybe with Street Fighter 6, they may make characters older, finally complete the story, because this is what Street Fighter 5 was, is to bridge it doesn't make sense to bridge Street Fighter 3 and Street Fighter 4. They used Street Fighter 5 to bridge that gap.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So Street Fighter 6 should be like current. Should be current.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, exactly, right? It makes no sense. That's what.
But
That's exactly what we're talking about. Like the whole timeline with Street Fighter, it's just like all jumbled up in a mess.
yeah, I mean, you got to take into account the comic books, the anime series, the movies. Like I've seen, read, and I read all of that stuff, and yeah, some of it lines up, and some of it is just all over the place.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I see Octavian saying, in the comments he was saying how Dan is more popular than Blocker and DJ. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Brian. Yeah, he is a little
Yeah.
more popular.
I see no. I
Yeah,
see no
And
lies
yeah,
there.
yeah, that's what I said.
and I do agree. It wouldn't be Street Fighter wouldn't be Street Fighter without Ken, Ryu, and even Akuma. It just wouldn't be.
No, it would be.
Like the, you
When
know,
Akuma came in, he changed the game. Let's be honest. Go
yeah, he
back.
did. He did.
When
And
Akuma came in Super Street Fighter 2, he changed the
like
game.
they would have to find a right way to transition the story. First, get the story, finish getting the story right, and then transition to new fighters that were under Ken and Ryu, not just create brand new that have nothing to do with the previous stories. Like you still, excuse me, you still have Ken's son who's finally kind of grown now or growing up now, and then Sakura is under Ryu, and Akuma, finally out overpowered Akuma, and so it's just kind of like if they can branch those storylines to branch them out to the future where okay people start transitioning and you bring in characters that are relating to what's going on that can take the place of Ryu and Ken and Akuma, and they do it in a smooth way, then yeah, they can finally kind of phase them out, make old versions of them, like, oh, this is Ryu and he's 60 years old. Ryu and Ken, they're older. And, there's all kind of ways that they could take the storyline and make a great game out of it. So I'm really interested to see what they bring with Street Fighter 6, because they got to come with it, because the next generation of games,
Yeah.
especially next generation of consoles and the next generation of fighting games, they're gonna have to come with it. They're gonna have to come with it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, you gotta have the main characters, and that's like a son, like Octavian. He's talking about Mario, but yeah, I'll say like Mario and Sonic. You can't have a Mario game or a Sonic game without them. Like you could.
Yeah,
I mean, you could, but
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think it's gonna go
different,
well.
man. That's
Luigi's the main
completely
character.
different. That's completely
It's like-
different, man.
No,
Yeah, it is. Because the game's not called Ken and Ryu. It's called Street Fighter.
I mean, basically it is.
Yeah.
Basically it is.
Because like the thing is, like he's kind of right. Like Ryu's not even that. Like he's an okay character, and at one point he was kind of garbage. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Bitch, when was
Yeah, in
this?
Street Fighter 5, yeah, he was kind of whack for a little while.
That's not his fault, man. No, in the
What do you
beginning
mean
he
it's
was
not his
good.
fault?
They
Of course, it's not his fault.
They nerfed the hell out of him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
they
mean-
He was good in the beginning because Daigo was destroying people, and then they just out of nowhere just nerf Ryu out all to hell. I'm like, what? Why would you nerf the main character of the series? Like,
That's what I'm
really?
saying, man.
Like, you might as well just take him out of the game. Like, why did you do that? And then Ken was just not good out of the gate. So, and they couldn't even get his hair right. Like,
Yo,
and his
man, I was
face
like,
right.
when I saw Ken the first time in Street Fighter 5, I'm like, yo, why does he look like Helga Pataki from Hey Arnold?
Yeah, Ken was looking busted, bro. That face was, and Chun-Li's
Look
face.
like the
Straight
creators of
busted.
Marvel Infinite. Same.
Oh
people.
yeah, that too. Yeah,
Same
they messed. They had to
Same
fix
people.
the Chun-Li's face in Marvel Infinite. Like, bro, what? Come on, Capcom.
Look like it was
You,
an
you got to
8-bit.
get with it.
Mm.
You got to get with it. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, nerfing the main character, I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't even want to get into that subject of nerfing and buffing. We already know. Like, just buff, make characters good, make any character viable, and you'll be okay. But this whole nerfing. It's like, do you not know how to make fighting games anymore?
I
Like,
mean, yeah,
come
maybe
on.
it might be time to hang up your hang up your developer gloves, man. Like in terms of
Like,
fighting.
give
Yeah,
it to somebody else. I want them to go back to the 2D animation. I think it looks better and it's smoother anyway.
Yeah, I agree with
I
that.
wasn't a fan of I wasn't a fan of a 3D fighter. I respect them because of what they are, but it's like I
Right.
want to go back to the 2D animation.
Yeah.
Give it to Arc Systems. Give it to Arc
that's a
Systems.
dream we could all hope.
Boy, that game will look just like the anime. Just like the anime, even
That's
better.
a
Just
dream I can get behind.
please,
That's a dream
please,
right there.
Oh yeah.
someone make that connection. Please.
I don't care how much money that costs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Ken's design in the beginning was hot. Yeah, it
Oh
was
yeah.
hot garbage.
And old Ken with the
Yep.
white color palette in Alpha 3 was, yeah, man. Oh, man. Yo, Alpha 3 in general, though, was really good, though. Like, that
Yeah, it
game
was.
in general was really good. It had, like, all my favorite characters were from Alpha 3. Like,
Mm,
I like Rolento, Sodom,
mm,
freaking Dan, Adon, you know, like, like
mm,
pretty much every Cody guy, every character that I really like, I saw in like the Alpha series, and it's like, oh man, these guys are great. And like, then I started
mm.
playing the other games. I'm like, wait, they're not in all the other games though. Like, what's going on here? And then when they had them show up in Street Fighter 4, I lost it, man. I freaking
Yep.
lost it. You have Cody punching through the wall, turn the beat back. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was. Oh man, yeah, yeah, I know it's people. They either like out. They say Alpha 3 is the best or Alpha 2. I'm an Alpha 2 head, man. Alpha 2 is. I mean, I love Alpha 3, but Alpha 2. Oh man, that's where it was at with the custom combos and just the style of Alpha 2, the different versions of Alpha 2, just crazy, crazy. But yeah, we're overdue for Alpha 4. I think, bro, if somebody who was smart at Capcom could be like, look, let's
That would be
give them what
interesting.
they want. Let's do Alpha 4. Hey, let's give it to Arc Systems. Let's see what they can do with it. Just give them the license and the rights to the characters. Hey, just make sure it's an alpha game,
Yep.
bro, they would kill it. Or even Street Fighter 6, partner up with them. Because they're not gonna just give that away. But hey, partner up with them. Come on, bro. Think outside the box. Y'all trying to do this 3D stuff. Leave that to Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, and Monster Hunter. Leave that 3D stuff with those games. Give me my 2D animation. I want to see a game with the next generation of the next level of 2D animation. And right now, the only games that are really stepping up the 2D animation is Guilty Gear. They're the only ones that are just raising the bar in 2D animation. I miss the hand drawn
Yeah.
sprites and the graphics because it just looked so real and it was
Yep.
so smooth.
Yeah.
Like I'm tired of the 3D stuff. Like, nah,
Yeah.
y'all did that with Street Fighter 3, no, with the EX series. Yeah, y'all gave
Oh
it
yeah,
out.
yeah,
Y'all,
yeah.
y'all did already, yeah, y'all
Yeah.
already did 3D. I want the 2D animation back.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, cause me and my boys, we used to play, Alpha 1, Alpha 2, Alpha 3 all the time, man. We couldn't stop playing those games. And I'm so glad they did another collection where you can play all those games.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you guys have it, but
Nope.
the bro, you got to get it, bro. You got to get it. It has every single Street Fighter game in there except for 4, of course, because they re-released 4 so many times. Like if
Yeah.
you don't own a copy of it,
Yeah. It's
that's
like
on you. But I definitely highly recommend the 30th anniversary, let alone just for Street Fighter 3 and the Alpha series alone. So yeah, definitely recommend it.
Really good games.
yeah, man.
Yeah,
Oh, oh, man.
but yeah, I hope I hope they I hope they give us the right characters for the final season of Street Fighter 5,
The
and
final season.
yeah,
We've been saying that 3 years
season
ago.
5.
We've been saying that 3 years.
So yeah, just give us our characters. I don't want no new characters. We don't need no new characters because all y'all did was like, oh, this is a new character, but it's like it's just a new version of an old character. Like they gave us G instead of Q. They gave us what's her face instead of Rose. You know, it's just like, no, I don't want a clone character that's, oh, it's they're totally different, but they're similar. No, give me my character. So yeah.
Yeah, man.
But yeah,
Well,
I think we got some questions,
oh, it's fight sessions. What up, man?
comments. Yo, what's up? What's up, bro? What's up,
Hey, what's
bro?
going on?
Yeah.
Isn't it more costly? Isn't it more costly with the drawings and shading to make 2D games? Figured this was one of the prime reasonings for this. Cost too many artists to pay, etc. Oh yeah, cost too much to pay the artists and stuff like that.
I don't know about that because I think
Oh
3D
no.
animation costs way more than drawing. It's more time. It's more time consuming. That's
That's
what
what
it
it
is.
is.
It's more time consuming, but costly. No, 3D animation, boy, go hire a 3D animator and see how much that costs. That stuff is expensive. I mean, don't get me wrong, their work is valuable,
Yeah,
but it's more time consuming than cost.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think
but
like,
yeah.
yeah, but like I think that's part of the reason why Disney started moving away from doing animated movies and like hand drawn animated movies as opposed to doing like
Mm,
just the 3D animation because it's just like okay, well it's
yeah.
easier to just do this than it is to
Yep.
because it's like I mean you got to
Mm,
remember especially like big undertakings like you remember Lion King you know and stuff like that the even like
Big undertaking.
even scenes from like the Little Mermaid like Under the Sea and stuff like that musical sessions
mm,
oh man I mean almost any one of those just about any single one of those Disney films like the old ones even stuff with like the pre-rendered backgrounds like Fox and the Hound and stuff like to have to do that storyboard it and then ink and color it and everything like that like I mean my gosh um,
mm,
I can imagine like there, and then God, it's all. I think it's a lot more difficult to go back and correct something that's been drawn than it is to go back and correct something that like you've like done a 3D animating like program. I think it's like okay, I got to go back and correct that, but I feel like I think I think it'll be easier. I think to go back and correct something like that, you know, than it would be to like just be like, all right, well, I did this whole thing and this animation thing was like wrong in this part so just scrap that, and we got to do it all over again.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, yeah, with 3D animation, you got multiple people working on different parts of it and, similar parts on it. But with drawing, that's just that person. And, he's just going back, drawing, going back. Oh, like you say, got to start all over if something's if something's messed up. But with 3D animation, that's just a matter of programming or tweaking something. That's easier than, oh man, these 500 pages of animation. Yeah, we got to start all over.
Yeah,
Nah, bro, I wouldn't want to do that. Nah,
yeah.
because if you've seen any of the like special features on any like Disney animated movie where you see like they have the paper and then another filter, and they have like
Right.
that clear background paper on top, and they're just like drawing. Then you see them lift it up, draw, put it back down, draw, lift it up. Like
Oh
that
yeah,
takes so much work.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Very,
like,
very,
nah, bro.
very
It's
long
just
process.
like you ever made a flip book when you were little, and flip book, and
I know
it's
you're
got
talking
the
about.
little
Yeah.
animation, a little stick figure, and he's like, yeah, it took you, hours to do it, but if you messed up, you had to go back, erase.
Yeah,
Nah, so nah,
Yeah. Nah.
but
Those
yeah.
days are over.
yeah.
Yeah, oh man,
That
I just I think Capcom made a huge mistake of getting away from 2D
Yep.
animation. But as far as fighters,
yeah. I'm like yeah. I agree with that. I missed the old 2D animation. Um,
hmm
Especially like from like you said like Street Fighter 3 and like Third Strike and stuff like that like any of the Street Fighter 3s new generation Second Impact Third Strike I think
hmm
if I would even go as far I'm not trying to start any fights or anything like that but I would even go as far to say that I liked a lot of the music in the old games better like in Street Fighter 3,
Hmm.
even like some of the
Oh,
games in the current,
absolutely.
some of the music
Oh,
in the current
music's great.
games. I was like, man, I actually kind of like this music better. I was listening to the Third Strike, like there's like a selection of tracks in Street Fighter 5 that I like, but I can listen to almost all the tracks from Street Fighter 3 Third Strike and like not skip any tracks. I'll go through the whole thing, like start to finish, from the very first track in the intro, the character
Yeah.
selection theme, all the way to the end, Gil's fight theme, all of it. I'll listen to the whole thing and not skip a single track. And then in like Street Fighter 5, I'm like, nah, skip, nah, skip. Oh, Zeku's theme is pretty cool. Skip,
Hmm.
skip. Oh, I like Ed's theme. Skip. All right, I'm done listening to this. All right.
Yeah. I mean,
Ibuki's
yeah,
theme is pretty
it's.
good though.
I mean, they got some decent songs in Street Fighter Five, but nothing's gonna beat the classic, especially
No.
especially Third Strike. That whole
Yeah.
soundtrack, bro. I had the CD collection
Yeah,
of Third Strike, all the songs, all the sounds, all the menu sound, everything, bro. And I would just be listening to that from CD one all the way to, I think it was like 4 discs or something like that, all the way to the last, just bumping that stuff, man. Like that was some of the best music, man, that they had. Of course, you can't forget the fact like Alpha, bro. Alpha one, two, and
yeah,
three,
Yeah.
bro.
Greatness.
Man, that sound was just amazing, bro.
yeah.
Amazing.
There was always
But
almost
yeah.
like for most of the tracks, always something ominous to a lot of the tracks in like the Alpha series. You know, it's like
Hmm.
this.
Yep.
There's like we're fighting, and this is serious business. Do not mess around because you will get killed. Like,
Yeah. And then and then they had different like versions, like the beginning, like the same song, but it had a different version, like at the beginning, I think in the middle, and definitely I know at the end.
yeah,
Like when your health got lower, it had a different like sound to it. And then of course Alpha would like they had like this thing where they were like sharing backgrounds, but one background would be during the day, the other one would be evening, and the other would be at night. So it had like a different sound to it, but it was like the same song.
yeah,
Like that was amazing how they did that.
yeah,
I was just loving that. But
yeah. I kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
missed that
Third
stuff.
Strike, yeah, was fire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was great.
yeah.
I mean, even the tracks from like the older ones, even like second impact and stuff. Like some of those tracks were freaking
Hmm.
pristine. I mean, throughout like that whole series, like the Alpha and the Street Fighter 3 series. I'm like, man, this is pure gold right here. Like this is awesome.
Yeah.
And even Street Fighter 4. I mean, a couple,
They had some
maybe,
good songs. They had some good
couple.
songs.
Not as good as Alpha 3.
Nah, not, there's. It's like
Nah.
it's like even like going back like to like for another fighting game, Tekken. Like I remember almost almost every track to me in Tekken 2 was complete like gold, like all of it. I remember almost all the tracks. Tekken 2, Tekken 3, Tekken 4, some of Tekken 4, Tekken 5, almost all of them.
Hmm.
Almost all of them. Some of Tekken 6 and some of Tekken 7. But it feels like the longer we go on, I mean, just in my opinion, a majority of the tracks that they have in like fighting games become more and more not they're not as memorable as some of the old ones. I think
Hmm.
so.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree on that.
Yeah. So
But
true.
a lot of people I remember used to say that they thought that not Street Fighter, but Tekken 3 had the best soundtrack. I don't know if I would say that. I think Tekken 3 soundtrack is good, but I think the
Hmm.
best I think the most memorable soundtrack to me from Tekken would have to be Tekken 5. I think Tekken 5 had the best soundtrack.
Yeah, I like Tekken 5. I think probably out of all of them, I was rocking with Tekken 4 a lot. Tekken 4,
I feel that.
that soundtrack was it was different. It was
Yeah.
different. Like I think that's when they kind of like took they were going into a different level. They were going to a different level. Once they reached Tekken 4, it was over from then. It was over.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
but yeah. Oh yeah, Tekken Tag.
Oh yeah, the Tekken
Yes.
tag things were pretty great too. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Nah,
Tekken Tag
he ain't
2.
lying on that.
Tekken Tag 2, when Tekken Tag 2 came out, I listened to some of the tracks in the game, and all I could think of was, wow, I'm glad they let you just get the songs from the old games and put them in there because otherwise I'd be in
Yeah.
trouble. I was like, some
Yeah.
of this stuff is not great. It's okay, but I'm like, yeah, let me get this
Mhm.
from Tekken 2. Let me get this from Tekken 2. Let me get this from Tekken Tag. Let me get this from Tekken 3. Give me a couple from Tekken 5, and we should be okay. Tekken 6, I mean, yeah.
Right.
So I don't know, man. I don't know. But
Oh yeah. 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 I agree with that. Like, yeah, the character select screen music.
oh
I
yeah,
think hands down, I'm gonna have to give it to Third Strike, honorable mention, Alpha 2. But yeah, Third Strike character menu, music, select screen music. Oh my goodness. Boy, you get in that character select screen, you ready to go. You ready to go. But oh yeah, yeah. And Marvel 2, oh, hands
oh yeah.
down.
Gonna take it for
Of
Hands
a
course,
down
ride.
top. I would
of
say
course.
top five. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
in top five. I don't care what nobody said. That's top five. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I definitely agree on that.
yeah. I think like
So
Tekken 3, Tekken 2 maybe. I would say are
mm,
really good. Tekken 4 I think was not as memorable. I think the character select screen on that one wasn't as memorable. Like the other tracks like Bit Crusher and like and Fear and stuff like that and Digirhythm and stuff like those were great. But the character select screen just wasn't as memorable as other tracks on there. Uh,
mm,
but yeah, I would say like those yeah, Third Strike, character select screen, definitely one of the best. I mean, that's one of those tracks that gets you. Not only are you grooving to it, but you're kind of getting hype for the next match. And then of
yep.
course you hit the select. Oh yeah, now I got the picture. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
yes, I've been waiting
Yeah.
for this.
Yeah.
Mm.
Exactly, man. Boy, the most dope announcer in
Yeah,
the games, man. One of the most dopest.
yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah.
Select to make your first pick. Let's get it on down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
7-6. Yes. Yeah, he knows. Oh man, we was rapping that, bro. We was rapping that.
Oh, Fight Session says the Tekken 4 soundtrack was better than the game.
What? Whoa, I don't know, man. People were kind of getting into
Oh
that game. I
man.
remember people at the arcades playing the heck out of that game. I don't know, man. I mean, maybe I guess towards the end. I don't know how it was towards the end, but in the beginning, people were all over it. But I don't know.
I think I think the big issue
Shots.
people had with Tekken 4, I think wasn't that the first game where they implemented walls? That was the very first game where they had
Okay.
had walls and stuff in it. Number
Mm,
one, because every other fight, there was no ring outs or anything like that,
yeah.
and there was
Hmm.
no boundaries. So you would just be
Mm,
fighting on like an infinite plane for the entire match. But in Tekken 4,
yeah.
they're like, all right, enough of that. There are actual walls, but then they also had like variable elevation. So you would be fighting on
Mm,
stairs and stuff, which I gotta admit, I kind of miss. To be honest with you,
mm,
some people didn't like that, but I kind of miss that. That was kind of that added that. But I mean, that at the same time, I can understand how some people feel that might have like messed with the game a little bit, like messed with some combos, messed with like setups and stuff, having variable
mm,
elevation. I mean, for me, like that might, but for me, a thing like that might be like having items on in Super Smash Brothers. Like that is
mm.
a
Okay.
random and unwanted element that you're just throwing that just appears right in the middle of my game, and it's like or even worse, tripping and like, oh
Ooh,
man, and like
I'm
Smash
get
Brothers,
started on that. Mm,
bro, holy smokes! Talk about like the one of the worst mechanics to put in a game ever. It's like, all right, oh, I just tripped and fell. What?
I heard about that. I heard about that, but
What?
I was just like, man, I'm glad I didn't have to go through that. I was like, nah, that would
Oh,
not have been for me.
Not me.
Jesus.
No.
It's horrible.
Mm-mm.
Oh my God.
But yeah.
Oh. All right, so let's one more. Our last topic that we like to discuss right now is, um, you know, next generation's right around the corner. Whether you're going to be PlayStation 5, or you're going to be Xbox Series X, or if you're going to continue being a PC owner, you're still gonna be upgrading you're gonna be
Mm-hmm.
upgrading your apparatus. And
Mm-hmm.
with the upgrading of your apparatus, you gotta step up your monitor game, man. You gotta step up your monitor game.
Mm-hmm.
And some people have already transitioned to 4K. Some people are still in 1080p. Like I'm still in 1080p in some of my stuff, but I mean like 1080p is just good enough. But like I like this is a question, an open question to everybody, including people in chat and you guys. What monitors are you using now for this gen? You enjoy the monitors you have, and are you going to upgrade for next gen? Like, you might just say, hey, the monitor I got right now is good enough, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Or TV or
yeah,
TV.
I mean, I uh, I don't
Watch it
know.
now.
I,
Watch it now. Watch it now. Because I've been doing some
Yeah.
research, bro. I've been doing some research, and the people who are experts in the technology, they're saying PC kind of behind as far as what they're watching it on. They're gonna be kind of behind. So, well,
I don't
watch
know,
it now.
man. I don't know, cause like as far as I've seen, I've never. All right, I'll put it this way: I've never seen a monitor. I've never seen a TV that looks even if it has like 4K on it. I haven't seen what's called a TV that handles games as well as like like at least to some of the monitors I've had. Like this one right here, this AOC monitor, it's pretty good. I had another monitor that was a Sonic, a ViewSonic, that was superb,
Hmm.
superb. It was like I think it was like a 120 refresh rate. It was like 27 inches. It's not like a huge. They're not like most of the time. You don't really want that big of a TV unless you're like playing like with like multiple people, right? Like on split screen. But when was the last time anybody played with like on split screen though?
Oh, that's been a long time.
It's been a while, but
It's been a long time.
it's a
It's in
old
that vein.
old thing.
That's no longer. That's no
I mean,
longer.
there's few games that pop up here and there, but they pretty much companies pretty much just cut that
Yeah.
out.
Oh man,
But
Five Sessions like it belonged right there in the toilet. Tekken 4.
oh
God.
man, he's still
Oh
he's
God.
still shooting shots,
Who hurt you?
bro. We done
Who
moved
hurt you,
on.
Fight Sessions? Who
Damn,
hurt
bro,
you?
we
Who hurt
we,
you?
we need to talk about it, man.
Do we need a
You
counseling session?
taking us back to early 2000s.
Oh,
Whoa.
Oh
Who,
man.
hey, tell us how you really.
who hurt you?
Who
hurt
who hurt you?
Who hurt
Oh
you?
man. He says
But
BenQ / Asus monitors. Are
Yeah,
good.
BenQ is
yeah,
what I have. Yep.
yeah. Now, for the more hardcore gamers, for the more extreme, ultimate hardcore gamers, next generation, and even this generation, because when I got my 4K TV, 2017, that was my first time getting into 4K, and I've been loving it ever since. But it's not perfect. No TV's perfect in any way. No monitor's perfect in any way.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
there's TVs that a lot of gamers aren't real. Like if you're not doing research on what you really need for the next generation, you're probably going to be taking your TV back. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you're not doing the research that I'm doing, and your monitor, because I'm telling you, these companies are fighting. These companies are fighting for dominance.
Yeah.
HDMI is stepping up their game, and I know DisplayPort.
Yep.
I think they're up to 48, right? They still do. Is it what's the bandwidth for DisplayPort?
Shit, I don't even know, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wish I could tell you
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
Well, I know HDMI is stepping up their game because the TV market for gaming and movies is pretty much the leader right now. It's pretty much the leader right
Yeah.
now. And I understand, a lot of PC people, they play on monitors. A lot of PC people play on TVs as well. and some of those OLEDs, like depending, like if you're
Oh
playing a
yeah.
single player TV, those nothing's touching those OLEDs. I'm sorry, nothing's touching those OLEDs as
Yeah, I've
far
heard
as
that.
viewing experience. Just the colors. Crystal clear. If you're doing it, if you're playing shooters, okay, fine. You don't need a $2,500 monitor or TV unless you just
Yeah.
want to play on that. That's fine. You want to be still stuck in early 2000s. That's fine. That's all fine and dandy. But all I'm saying is, the next generation of PS5 and Series X, please do your research because right now, like if you're planning on playing legacy games, they were saying that if the TV doesn't support a certain format, or not format, but a certain feature, that 30 frames is not going to be supported.
Oh
Not
wow.
going to be supported on some of the new TVs. Like you're going to have to really watch and see what TVs support all the new formats
Yeah.
because they're kicking it in high gear. And with 30 frames, you might as well keep your current TV or your current monitor. I think monitors, you're good on that. But as far as TVs, you're going to be SOL. And
Mm.
this new debate with 4K 30, 4K 60, it might be a problem. It might be a problem. And we already had HDMI 2.1 LG downgrade gate. you know they they
Said
they
downgrade
basically
gate.
were like, yeah, they did, bro, because the 2.1 HDMI 2.1 standard is supposed to be 48, and some of their new TVs, if people discovered that it was only doing 40, so
Oh
it's not even covering the whole HDMI 2.1 spectrum, and
wow.
people were upset,
Yeah.
upset, and that caused me to do even more research. And so the TV that I'm looking for, because I was real hardcore with LG,
Yeah.
and now I'm like, I don't know,
Oh
because
yeah.
LG is leading it. Yeah, LG was leading it, but now if the TV's not supporting all the formats that I need for the next generation gaming, I'm not buying it. I'm not spending money on that. And so right now, I gotta wait and see which companies are going to be supporting all
Yeah.
these different game features. Refresh rate, stutter, and all those different things that you need in gaming to make sure that your gaming is smooth as butter.
Yeah.
And so I
Right.
definitely recommend, whatever you're gaming on right now, do your research. Please do your research because you just randomly go out to Best Buy or Target or order from Amazon
Yeah.
without even doing research, and the guy, the Target guy, the Best Buy guy, or even Walmart, wherever you get your stuff, they're just gonna be like, oh yeah, it'll work. Like, nah, nah, buddy,
Nah.
because I'll be going into Best Buy and just back in the past, I'll just be schooling those guys. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, this TV's good." "Oh really? Oh well, did you hear that it doesn't do A, B, and C?" Like, man, I'll be schooling those guys when it comes to TVs and electronics. So I definitely recommend
Looking at you like on Madden stuff.
doing your research. Yeah, because but yeah, so yeah, I'm running, I'm gaming on, LG, LED TV right now, but I'm looking to upgrade because when it comes to gaming and movies, it's pretty good, but I'm looking for something that's a little bit better. And there's TVs that have come out that are better,
Yeah.
but I don't trust any 2020 TV right now, so I'm
Oh
waiting
word.
for the 2021 brands. I'm ready. I'm waiting for those models. So
Mm.
I definitely would recommend researching, wait until 2021 once all the specs have been fully tested, especially the HDMI cables, the TVs, make sure that it has all the supported features for the PS5 if you're gaming on PS5 and Series X, because a lot of TVs that there aren't going to be covering everything, and especially for movies too. Like if you're a movie head and you love watching, the 4K movies, you got to make sure that they're supporting, you know, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, HDR10 plus, and all the other ones that are out there. If they're not supporting all the formats, then you're not getting your money's worth, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend researching. And yeah, so I'm definitely gonna look into I'm definitely plan on upgrading my stuff for the next generation. So what about you guys? What do you guys plan on, and are you looking to upgrading your equipment?
Um, right now, I'm looking forward to just sticking with what I have right now. I like the monitor
Mm,
I'm using. I got like a Samsung and I got an AOC. I use a dual monitor setup here,
mm,
but I'm pretty interchangeable with which ones I use for gaming and whatnot. But I also have a 4K television, but I never use it.
oh,
So
okay.
because because for gaming, I kind of want to keep it. I keep it like especially for first person shooters. You know, it's not
Mm,
really that great. It's not great to have like like a big like 42-inch like thing. You don't really want to go that much bigger than maybe like a 32 or something like that. Maybe with
Right.
like first
mm,
person shooters. Um,
yeah.
so I just keep it like right here on 27, and yeah, I think unless like I start like seeing problems, I don't think might as well just like say I'm just basically gonna save up, save up a little bit of cash, and then maybe if I get problems later on, if I'm having problems running things on the screens on my monitors, I'll be like, oh, you know what, maybe it's time to upgrade. But
Mm,
right now, I think I should be okay. And if it really bothers me, I'll probably just like have to use the freaking the 42-inch, man. Like it's like it's right here, man. It's like it's 4K. I never use it. I think the most I've used it for is like watching Netflix. Like I think that's all I do.
mm,
So I don't know.
yeah. Are you do you which console versions do you have
Like which console
as far
versions?
as PS4 and Xbox One?
I got the Xbox One S and the
Okay.
like the normal PS4.
Okay, so your S is capable of like 4K stuff.
Yeah.
PS4, base PS4, not so much. If you had a Pro, then yeah, it definitely it'll look way way different, man. Like the games that are really took advantage of like 4K and HDR, those games look like freaking crystal butter, clear water, smooth clouds. Like it's just it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So if you're big on like the single player games, like the Laura Crafts or the Uncharted or you know uh God of War or stuff like stuff that are like big triple A games that are big on graphics. Yeah, definitely you should definitely check that out. Those games just purr like butter on
Yeah,
good
man.
4K display.
Yeah.
So
The thing is like
but
when I remember when I first started playing on a PC, and when you
mm,
finally get to that point where you're like, all right, let me see what it looks like, because you have like everything kind of on normal. So let me see what
Right.
it looks like when you crank up all the graphics all the way to the top. And it's like, geez,
mm,
man, what if I? It's like on a good like basically playing games on a good PC is basically the same as playing it on 4K with a on a console, and that stuff.
mm,
I'd never seen what my buddy told me is like you should play Final Fantasy 15 on PC because it doesn't look that great on Xbox, and I was like, really?
mm,
I don't know about
It
that,
does.
man. And then
mm,
I'm like, it looks okay, and then I played it on PC. I'm like, oh, never mind,
It's a difference. Yeah.
never mind.
yeah.
So yeah, I think like the graphical stuff it makes a huge difference, you know,
Mm,
especially like your display, even sometimes whether you're using HDMI or DisplayPort, you know.
mm.
So
What about you, Brian?
Yeah, as far as my monitor, I'm gonna say what I got a BenQ 27 inch. As far as TV, definitely, I definitely need to get a 4K TV.
Mm,
I have the base PS4 right now, but yeah, I'm definitely looking to when the next gen comes out to upgrade my TV because it's time
Yeah.
as far as that. But yeah, I know you know a whole lot about that. I definitely want to upgrade my TV.
Oh yeah. Hey, any questions you got when you ready to go get it? Yeah, I'll let you know. Just let
Yeah,
me know what you're looking for, and I'll steer you in the right direction.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
but yeah,
Because
yeah. I'm running. Yeah, I'm running LG. LG. It's like 55. I don't think for
hmm
gaming, for my gaming, I don't think I want to go 65 because I think that's just like super, super big. I mean, that's
Yeah,
good for movies,
yeah,
but unless they don't make a 55-inch with all my features that I want, then I may have to 65. But and I do plan on getting some monitors for when I do build my PC. So I'm gonna wait till the whatever the new monitors are coming out next year
yeah,
because they got some beastly monitors coming out.
yeah.
So I'm
yeah,
gonna wait. I'm
monitors
gonna
are
wait on
always
those.
upgrade
Yeah.
very good. I love
So
my BenQ monitor. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. Yeah, we got a question. I think Octavian was asking what systems are we interested in? I'm mostly
PS5.
interested in yeah PS5. I mean, I will get the Series X, but PS5 is going to be my first console that I get. I'm sorry. PS5 is where it's at.
Yeah.
So
Um, I'm interested in both systems, but I don't think I'm going to be buying any of them when they
Not that
come out.
soon.
At least, like you know what I mean.
mm,
It's going to be a little while before I buy a PS4, be a PS4, be a PS5 or an Xbox Series X or whatever. Um,
mm,
I don't know which one I would get first, but I mean, I want to see exactly what they have to offer. I remember when I
mm,
got an Xbox One, everything was pretty cool on there, but things didn't really start kicking up until like the year after I got my Xbox. And at that point
yeah,
they already had what game was it? Titanfall and stuff like that on there, which I thought was a really good franchise, but they decided to go ahead and make Apex Legends instead of going whatever, man.
mm,
But yeah, I think right now, if I was going to do anything, if I was going to say, hey, what do you intend to spend your money on? I would probably just upgrade my PC, to be honest. You
mm,
know, um,
No, that's definitely not a bad idea. Definitely not
mm.
a bad idea right now.
yeah,
A lot
but
of good games coming out.
yeah, but if I had to choose, I might just get a PlayStation 5.
Hmm
If I absolutely had to choose a system, I would probably just say PlayStation 5 because like I like Xbox a lot. It's basically where like all my friends usually go from like Xbox to Xbox. But on PlayStation, they have a little bit. I would say that JRPGs are something that I've always really liked, and there's always been more
Mm-hmm.
JRPGs on PlayStation than there have been on Xbox. It's just it's
Mm-hmm.
that I mean, unless like I'm thinking of it in the wrong way, maybe my perspective is off, but that's at least been the way it seemed to me, is that there's always
No,
been
I think
more.
you got it right.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. So I think like if I was going to do that, I have to say PlayStation 5.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. I feel. Yeah. That's where I'm at with it. It's just PlayStation just has they've proven themselves generation after generation. Yeah, they've made they had a little slump PS3 360 generation, but they still proved themselves in the end. They still proved themselves. They still had great games, and PS4 they destroyed it. They won that generation, so it's only natural to see that they're gonna have the same drive and success in the next generation. And personally, I feel like Microsoft still needs to prove themselves because they had a very rocky start with Xbox One, and then they were like, oh man, we need a new system. And they made the S and then the X, and it's like we should have had
yeah,
the X. That should have been the first system, or the S,
Yeah, it was unneeded.
S,
The X was
and
unneeded.
then them just doing the oh yeah, by the way, announcing the Xbox One. up always online and no use games. Yeah, that was a horrible move in the
Yeah, that was
beginning.
really bad, and that
Yeah,
was
Yeah, because
really bad.
that killed them.
that was
That
yeah,
killed them.
because that was before I even had any other systems. I was like, okay, which one am I gonna go for first? And when that happened, I was like, oh, PS4, I'm getting that first.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, they just.
yeah, they dropped the ball on that one. You would have been better off not even having a show. You know what I mean? Not even having like a
Oh no, that was
review.
the whole talk. That was
Yeah,
the only
yeah,
talk. It was a dumpster fire, basically.
yeah, it was pretty
right.
bad.
Yep.
Yeah, that was one of the worst things I'd ever. I was just like,
Good old Phil Spector.
I mean,
Yep.
God. I mean, but let's be honest, he wasn't even involved with that. Like, it was that other dude, remember?
Oh yeah,
And then
yeah,
he
you're right.
left, and he
Right.
went to go work in like, he was like, I mean,
Yeah, yeah. He
I'm
left
like,
on the way out. He like
yeah.
lit a match
Hmm.
on
Do
the
you remember what
gasoline
he
and
Yeah.
said,
said?
"My
You
work
remember
is
what he
done here."
said about the what's called about
Huh.
backwards compatibility?
Yeah,
I think it's like, oh yeah, we already have a console that does that. It's called the Xbox 360. I was like, oh
Oh
no,
yeah, yeah. I was
yeah,
done with
oh
that guy.
no, dude.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
this is why you can't. It's like you got to choose the right people to be your like your faces of your brand. You can't just let anybody do it, and especially can't let them say something like that. That was ridiculous. It's, I mean, do you not want to sell units? I don't get it. Like,
Yeah, sound like he worked for Sony.
yeah, I know, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, he was a spy for Sony the whole time.
Yeah, he was a mole.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, man, that guy was pretty bad. Nobody even, I mean, I don't even remember that guy's name. I remember his face, but I don't remember his name at all. It's like talking about, oh yeah, man, doing this, got Call of Duty, Call of Duty.
Microsoft doesn't remember his name either, probably.
Yeah, probably they probably don't want to.
Hmm.
You know, they're like,
Yeah.
nah, he never worked here. Oh my god. And then I think he went
Yeah.
to, like do Farmville or something like that. He was like do
I,
like
I,
something like that, and then he got fired from that job.
Farmville.
wow.
Oh man.
And I'm like, man,
Yeah, that dude was a joke,
yeah,
Yeah.
it was
really a
pretty
joke.
bad.
But yeah, I mean, it's only the next generation. They're only going to push each other to be the best, and
Yeah,
it's only going to raise the competition. And I'm definitely looking forward to playing some stuff on Series X because Halo, next Gears, even I like car stuff, so the next Forza,
yeah,
and those games are gonna be on point. Any new games that they come out,
yeah.
hopefully they're on point. Hopefully they're worth something, and I don't really have to worry about PlayStation because they're gonna come out with killer hit games, so I'm not even worried about them. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the next generation, but definitely gonna be leading it off with PS5. So, oh, you got a question?
What's lackluster about the Series X? Um, I
Mm.
mean,
Well, we'll talk about that
Mm.
another show. We don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, that's a whole show. We can make that into the whole show, but to
Yeah.
put it short, uh, the games, we
Oh
buying all those
boy.
studios and
You must have missed
you
episode
know,
2. Episode 2.
yeah. I just don't think they're going to be coming with it with the games, and
Yeah.
and the whole, saying that how powerful it is. It's bro, unless you have
A
the
lot of
games,
lies. A
that
lot of lies.
power ain't gonna matter, and they just throwing fluff number. It's just fluff words. That whole 12 terabytes, that's just a buzzword, bro, and people are falling for it. That's not even what makes a game, run the way it's supposed. Like that doesn't make the game good. That's not the main driving force behind the game. So,
yeah,
people are falling for those buzzwords, and
yeah, they need to work
I,
on their storage.
like I said, Microsoft's got to prove them. They still have to prove themselves.
Absolutely,
In
they
my
got to prove
book.
themselves. They got a lot to do.
Yeah,
They got
because
a lot to do.
giving us, like I said, even though I love these games, Halo, Gears, and Forza, I need more than that, bro. I need more than that. And PlayStation gives
You
us
ain't never
way
lied.
more
You ain't never lied
way
on
more
that.
variety of
They're
games.
not even talking about making a
So,
new Killer Instinct. They aren't even
Yeah.
talking about it yet. You know,
Mm.
it's been since
Mm-mm-mm.
2013, and they're not talking about making a new. Like, nah, they're fine. They're fine.
Yeah. What happened to Banjo and Kazooie? You just got Rare over there just
I
begging
think they I
for a
think they got
paycheck.
taken out back a long time ago, Chris.
Yeah. What happened to Rare? You bought them for what? What happened?
But
I
remember, they
need
got a
my
lot of
Banjo
studios, though, Chris.
Kazooie.
Got a lot of studios.
Like
They bought a
I'm
lot of
telling
studios.
you, hey, they gonna be upset. They gonna be upset when if some of these studios don't work out, and you be like, hey, what happened to those studios they bought?
Uh,
And they just fade away.
yeah.
I mean, as
They
long as
gonna
they
be
don't.
upset.
Never forget E3 2018. We got all these studios. Remember?
Yep.
Oh, we bought all these studios. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna revolutionize gaming on consoles with
I,
the next console we have.
dude, I was so mad when they got Rare because I was just like, man, I'm never getting another Diddy Kong Racing again.
Oh
Never
yeah,
getting another sequel to Diddy
that's
Kong
done.
Racing.
Yeah,
I was
that's
Oh
mad.
done.
man.
I was mad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Here we are in 2020, still waiting.
yeah. I mean, well, let's face it. Let's be
oh,
honest, man. Like
mm,
you buy the game, you buy the what's called it's like you buy the company, but let's be honest, man. It takes a while for you to even if the game development is going pretty well, it takes a hot
Yeah.
minute to come up with a good game, like something you want to actually show to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
all
So,
right.
Yeah.
I agree with that
I just want them
100%.
to just actually put their money where
But
their mouth is, because they've been talking a big game for a long time. You know, Chris.
but
They've been talking for a long time.
one of the followers who has a podcast, talking about gaming and stuff. He said it best. He was like, man, some of those studios are trash. So
oh shit.
so you paid money for trash, because he was going over their resume like what games have they made that were great? And
Yeah.
I didn't even know that they were trash. And I was just like, whoa. Like, yeah, you spent money, and it may take a couple of years, and if they produce some trash, you're gonna be upset.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah,
be
it makes you
upset.
wonder. It makes you wonder what exactly they saw in those companies to buy them in the first place. You know, like what exactly. Maybe there are certain people,
Yeah.
like in like the development crews, and they're just like, okay, like it's like if you ever watch Mad Men, it feels like you bought this company for Don Draper, like this one guy, like almost for the one guy. But it's like, I wonder if they did. I hope
Yeah.
they didn't do something like that, because that would be freaking
Don't
awful.
put it past Microsoft. Do not put it past Microsoft.
Yeah, they were going having meetings and eating seafood and buying up all these companies
See,
and having drinks and stuff, but not really looking at the resume. You getting sold on hopes and dreams. They better produce,
Yeah.
or they gonna
Yeah.
end up like Rare. They gonna end up like Rare, sitting on the bench for a couple of years.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
that might not be an issue
Until
now though.
till they come up with a hit. So
I mean, like,
and then you lackluster. What about that console design? Where you gonna put that? Where you gonna put
I
that
don't
big
know. It looks
old
like
tower?
all it is a paperweight.
Bro,
Man,
that thing is
like,
huge. Like you think,
extra large
I mean,
like
think
I
about
don't,
it this way.
I don't think people realize how big it is.
I mean,
You know, you could actually use that in riots. Really, if you want to be honest, that could be a hell of a
like,
thing for a riot.
the thing
I
about
mean,
it is,
think about it.
if you've ever if you own a PC, then you got plenty of space for it. Like that's like what?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you want to put a PC, but it definitely don't work like a PC. I definitely know
saying.
that.
I'm saying,
It
man,
may look like.
it's like
Yeah, nah, it ain't.
if you've ever had a space to put like a speaker or something like that, you got space for that.
That's true. Now that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, it's gonna be a pretty big speaker too.
It's gonna be an expensive
Pretty
one
big
too.
speaker.
It's gonna be an expensive
I'm
speaker.
telling you.
Saying, man.
I'm telling you, that thing, it kind of look like an eyesore. I'm already calling a
Telling you.
redesign.
I'm telling
halfway
you,
through
people
the
might
half,
use it at riots.
bro,
I'm telling you, you could do
half-
a lot of damage at a riot.
bro, halfway through the generation, I'm already calling a redesign already.
Yeah,
But it ain't even out yet. But a redesign is coming.
I'm telling you.
Redesign is
I
coming.
feel like
Hey, the cops might pull you over and say, "Sir, where are you taking that to?"
yeah,
I'm letting you know right now.
Because I mean, if you really, it kind of makes sense in a way, because it's like instead of building it out, you're building it up. So like,
I don't know about that. That's a nice.
Yeah, but see, somebody was saying like, since the original Xbox 360, they're not taking any chances anymore. with that Red Rings of Death. So they take heating seriously
Yeah,
more than
I
any
believe
other
that.
aspect. They were saying
Yeah,
any other aspect, they take that heating seriously now.
yeah,
I was
Yeah,
just
I
like,
remember that
I
red
don't
ring of
blame him.
death. Yep,
yeah. That
yep.
was
Yeah.
pretty bad. I mean, but they handled it. At the same time, they handled it pretty well, though. I mean, it was
Yeah,
bad.
I give
Yeah.
them that because they lost, what was it, $1 billion? Was it like up to $1 billion they lost because of that?
Because I mean,
Dang.
like,
And put up millions of dollars just to fix it? Mm.
yeah, it was pretty bad.
They took a huge loss on that
Yeah.
Red Rings of Death situation. Man, they took a huge
And
loss.
people over there like having to like take their Xbox and to wrap it in a towel and shit. Like I remember,
Yep,
you know,
bro,
do the towel trick to get
bro,
your Xbox to work.
Gotta
Like,
cool
bro.
it down.
I think
Gotta cool it down. Cool that body down.
bro,
Hurry, hurry.
I
Just
did
wrap it in a
GameStop dirty. I did GameStop dirty because it was right before.
You're right
Hey, they
about that,
had,
Evan.
bro,
Wrap it
because
in a
my
towel.
bro, because my 360 started messing up right before what was that, Gears? I think it was Gears 2,
Uh-huh.
but they had the Gears that Gears Xbox Slim.
yeah,
It started messing up before that, and I was just like, oh man, of course GameStop, they got the trading,
Yeah.
trading towards the console, trading towards the game.
yeah.
They had a huge deal. So I did that towel trick. And like when you test it, it turns on because they tested it right then and there.
Oh yeah, they always
I
do.
did that towel trick, went in. I was like, yeah, I want to trade this in towards the new Xbox 360 Slim, the Gears version. They turned it on, tested it. Like, okay, sir, you're good. All right, give you your credit. And bro, I never looked back.
Never look back.
So whoever got that console, they were pissed.
Yeah, I can
I
imagine,
know
dude.
they were pissed.
Dude, I knew a guy who did that too. Like he was like, yo, so he did the exact same thing. He took his his console to the store. Like after he did the towel trick, it worked perfectly.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, what do you want to do? He's like, he bought a PSP with that money.
Oh damn!
Wow.
Damn.
He bought a PSP. With
Oh
that
wow!
money. I don't know
Yeah.
how in the world they didn't catch
Wrap
that
it in
before
a
shipping
towel.
out.
Boy, I hadn't heard that in a long time.
That was the thing about
Yeah.
it is that I don't even know how they didn't catch it because that was
Oh no, I got the answer for that. But yeah, go ahead.
like it's one of those things where it's like you guys needed to do long term testing. You didn't do long term testing, and go ahead, man.
Yeah. It turns out that they knew about it. They
Oh,
just didn't care. They knew about it. Yeah, yeah. It turns out like if you really dive deep, you can find it. But yeah, it turns out that they kind of knew about that, but they just didn't care because it was already kind of like too late, and you got like millions and millions of consoles about to ship. They weren't about to stop that.
yeah,
They were not about to stop
yeah,
that.
I feel that.
So yeah, they had some awareness on it. They just didn't care. So trust me, Microsoft is a dirty company. Just to let y'all know, they pretty dirty. So a lot of people don't know, but they kind of dirty and slick at the same time. And I'm not just talking about gaming. So yeah, they pretty slick when it comes to their business ventures. They're pretty dirty and slick.
Yeah,
So,
I
but
mean,
yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
yeah, I mean, like let's be like they're pretty dirty, man. But I mean, like let's be honest, man. What company isn't though?
Nah, yeah, I
Yeah.
get that, but nah, not like when it comes to Microsoft, PlayStation, and Sony, bro. They not as bad as Microsoft.
I don't know.
Microsoft take it
depends.
to a whole different level,
I don't
bro.
know, man, 'cause
Hey,
like the thing
hey,
is,
you
man,
want to talk?
when
Hey, you want to talk about the HD DVD versus Blu-ray situation? I can tell you some things about that.
I mean, because like let's be honest, man. Like I mean, it's one thing. Like if you go to Xbox and they say, hey, man, all you got to do is send your console in and we'll fix it. Okay, fine. But it's like you go to PlayStation, they're like, nah, I don't know, you might have stolen your console. We're gonna need you to cough up that receipt. It's like,
I mean, hey, they didn't have a fallout with the Red Wings of Death. Microsoft was kind of they kind of had to, so
no, I'm
they
talking
put
about
themselves
PS4.
in that position.
Like we're talking about PS4. Like yo, like we're not gonna take your console back unless like you You know what I mean? Like unless you cough up a
I
receipt,
mean,
like it's
I
like
mean that is business. I mean, because
nah,
like
dude.
if you had
Because
your own business, you just gonna take random stuff back without any confirmation. I mean,
No,
that
no,
stuff costs
what are
money.
you talking
yeah,
That
no.
about?
stuff
Like
costs
they
money.
have serial numbers on there and stuff. Like what is it? I mean, it's like you guys are going to assume that somebody stole it. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
really?
but they're not tracking purchases like that. They can't say, "Oh yeah, this person right here bought this from this company." Unless you bought it direct, yeah, okay, yeah. They track that direct, but as far as you got it from Walmart or
Yeah,
Target
a second
or
party seller.
Facebook Live,
No,
you
no, they
know,
can't.
they,
That's the
they
thing,
can't
though.
track
Like, not
that.
everybody buys it from what. Like, so you're saying somebody who had a console and they said, you know what, I don't like this too much. I'm gonna sell it to my buddy for like $200. Oh, well, you need to
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
make sure you get the receipt from your buddy because you know, like what kind
I
of garbage?
mean,
That that's a whack business practice. That is whack as hell. Like if somebody gives, so you
hey,
get a PS4 from your parents and they don't keep the receipt, you're like, oh man, my PS4 fucking up. Yo, we can't fix it unless you have the receipt. Oh, did you guys keep the receipt? No. Oh, let me go look for it.
Well, most places do keep it in their computer though now. Most places do
mhm.
keep it in their system electronically.
yeah, like when you
You
go to
know.
like, especially you go to like Micro Center and Fry's and stuff
Yeah,
like that, like they have
Yeah,
that
I mean,
digitally, but
yeah, they have it in there
yeah,
digitally. A lot of places.
yeah, you'd have to go get it. I mean, there's ways of getting receipts. There's
Yeah,
ways. I mean, granted, it's
and
not an
also if
extreme
something were to
situation.
happen, they do have to keep it for legal reasons. They have to keep
back
it
Hmm.
when the
for
PS4
the
dropped,
information.
they weren't. That wasn't really an option. Like they weren't really doing it like that. So, you know,
Hmm.
Uh huh.
so you would if you didn't have the receipt and you had like I talked to several people who that happened to. They're just like,
Hmm.
yeah, we didn't have a receipt. I can't go get my PS4 fixed, even though my parents bought it for me, or I bought it for my buddy because he didn't decided he wasn't really with it. So I can't get my PS4
Now, if you
fixed.
bought it from your buddy, then that's stupid. But I'm talking about if you bought it directly from a retailer
How
like
is it
Best
stupid to buy it
Buy
from
or
your buddy? What? How
you
is
say what
this?
now?
How's it stupid to buy it from your buddy?
Oh, what I mean is not getting the receipt or something. Having some proof if
Proof.
something does mess up, you definitely need receipt or proof of purchase. Something. I mean,
Yeah, it's just
that's just being
Nah,
common
man.
sense and smart,
Nah,
in
cause
my opinion.
I'm just saying, like they got serial numbers and stuff on there. Like it's
Oh
like I
yeah,
mean,
they do. But
it's
what
like
Chris
it's not
said,
our,
like Chris said, they don't track
bro. They
every
but
not
that's
one of
not
those.
your
tracking,
fault
bro.
though. That's not your fault. That's
It
their
is your
fault.
fault. It is your fault, bro.
Proof of
When
purchase is
Sony,
common sense. Yeah,
bro,
go ahead, Chris.
yeah, when any company sells a product to another company that sells it to you, then it's on that company
Hmm.
to have that receipt or that record of proof of purchase, because sometimes you got to go back to and then did they get the warranty? Did they get the warranty direct from PlayStation? Because
Right.
you can get the warranty from PlayStation as well, or Xbox or Nintendo. Not, you don't just have to rely on the store warranty, but I definitely recommend covering your bases. Get the warranty from the company who made the product,
I
and
always
get
do
a
that.
warranty
Yep.
from wherever store you bought it from. But it goes both ways. If you can't keep up with your purchase receipt or proof of purchase, but then you're like, oh, I bought this from the bum on the street, and it doesn't work. You're not the original purchaser for one, so it's kind of like they're like looking at you like, okay,
Yeah.
you're bringing this item back, but where's the proof that you could have stole it? Like, that's a thing.
But
People
that's the thing,
steal
like.
stuff.
But that's the thing, like you're gonna say that like
Totally
that's you
agree.
can't make that your fucking that can't be your like default position. Like oh well they could have stolen it. Like what sense does that
No,
make?
yeah, but I understand where Chris is coming from,
You
though.
know what I'm saying?
I
It's
understand
like
where you're coming from, though,
I
Chris.
like
mean,
and not every
I
okay, so
and then not everybody who doesn't have a receipt doesn't mean that they didn't get it like legit. You know what I mean? So you're gonna
Oh,
lump
it's not that they
every
didn't get it
so
legit.
that's the
It's
thing.
that
You're
it's
gonna
that a
lump
practice that
everybody
places that
into the
steal something.
same group. You're just gonna lump everybody into the same group. It's
right.
like, oh, I don't have a
No,
receipt. Oh, well, you might have stolen it. Yeah, you don't have a receipt, so oh, you might have stolen it. I mean,
no, I understand that. But you deal with some of these kids, Chris. You know this. You deal with some of these kids at Walmart or Best Buy.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're gonna say. I know what you mean, Chris. They don't have the
I mean,
vocabulary to tell you in a professional manner or whatever it is. You working with some
right.
of these kids and some of these retailers, they might say that. Oh, he might have
Okay, then.
stole it. He might
So
have
then
done
what's
this. Uh-huh.
So what's okay then? So should be the system then? What's the
Yeah,
statutes of limitation for
that's
purchase?
true.
I mean,
That's
what if it was something that was purchased 10 years ago
yeah,
from
worn out.
somebody
Well,
else
that's the
Yeah.
and
thing. Like,
it's
if it
not
was purchased 10
functioning?
years ago, I mean, whatever, right? But if it was purchased like last year, then it's like, I mean, and
But
you,
people will
Okay,
use it. I agree
so
with you, Greg.
as a business
Uh-huh.
company,
Yeah.
when someone buys a item from a retailer, they have it for a certain amount of time, then they sell it as a third party to someone else. Then the difference between the original purchaser and this third party purchaser, how does that supposed to play? How does a business supposed to
it's not like they do it for
adjust
free
to that?
though. They, after a certain
Huh?
amount of time, it's not like they do it for free though. You have to pay for that. So what's the point?
Right.
So I'm like, okay, so what you're gonna say that you're not going to repair it at all because I didn't what's called?
Mm,
Because you know what I mean. They're gonna make you pay for it if it's past a certain
mm,
past a certain what's call it. Like if it's under
mm,
warranty, just repair it. If it's under the what's called the
mm.
basic
Oh yeah.
warranty, just repair it.
Uh-huh.
But if it's not,
Right.
like, you know what I mean? Like if I say, okay, here's the serial number and it's still under warranty, then what's the problem? You know, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter
Oh,
if
I
that,
agree with that
if
now.
it doesn't
Mm,
Now
have
I
the
agree with
receipt.
that.
That's what I'm saying. It happened within the first year he bought it. Not like
mm.
3 years later, not 2 years later, the same year that we
Oh
got a
yeah, but
couple
there's
months
gonna be
later.
people. What I think what you're
Oh
saying,
yeah.
Chris, is that
I'm not.
certain people don't have the receipt after a year. That's where it gets complicated. That's where the gray
Well,
area comes in.
But
that
after
part.
like the
Well, then
first
that.
couple of years, like they're gonna make you pay for it anyway. So like, why do
Well,
you need a receipt?
that was. I mean, yeah, you're not going to change a company's mind, but if you're buying, if you're a person that buys stuff from other people, especially electronics, I would just make sure you know, and you like to return stuff. Make sure
Yeah.
you know the return policies of the retailer and the
Mm.
company, and make sure you're covered. Hey, get that. Hey, homie, you selling me this speaker? I'm gonna need that receipt,
Because
especially if
certain
it's
companies have like
within.
a 90-day return policy
Yeah,
too.
and granted, within if it's within warranty purchase time frame, get that receipt. Now, if it's like 5, 6, 8 years ago, then hey,
Nah.
I mean,
that's
five, six
on
years,
you.
8 years ago, I mean, you're not gonna be able to get that anyway. But like,
Some people
Right.
will try though.
I mean,
Some people.
but if it's
Oh
There's
like
some
yeah,
a year
people
yeah, they
later,
out
will.
here though. There's some people out here, Evan,
but
who
if
will
it's a
try
few months
anything.
later, then what are you
Yeah, a
asking
few
me for
months.
my receipt for? If you like, if it's in, like, if you put the thing, it's like, all right, well, what's the serial number? It's like 53U67. It's like, oh yeah, you know what? It's in warranty range. We'll just repair it for you. There shouldn't be any question about it. Like, don't ask me for my receipt if you got the serial
Well,
number and it says
Well,
it's.
some people do it just because that is the way they were trained. Also, some retailers is that just say, "Do you have the receipt, sir?" And then you say, "No, I don't.
I'm
It
not
should be
talking
in your
about
record."
certain retailers. I'm talking about Sony. Like, I'm calling Sony
Oh,
direct.
Sony.
Yeah,
Well,
Sony.
Sony. No, normally they have it in their system. You're right, Evan.
Yeah,
If
because
it's
they
in
were
their,
asking
yeah,
for a
it's
receipt.
Sony.
They're asking for
Oh,
a
they were
receipt.
asking.
Yeah,
Okay,
a
they
receipt.
said
No,
it.
they don't track receipts unless you buy direct from them.
Yeah,
No, the
unless you
thing
buy
was,
direct from them.
they were asking for a
They,
receipt. Like, I'm not like.
Hmm.
So that's what
and,
happened, and
and,
that's why we didn't get it repaired.
huh?
Yeah, it's because they don't want, like, okay, you got people who like sell in bulk, like they get systems and sell in bulk. I'm not talking about, oh, you got one system, like you're just a regular, like people, like they would have people sending in like hundreds and hundreds of systems and getting fixed for free,
Yeah.
and no proof of, like, oh, okay, yeah, let's just take all these systems and not really have proof that he was the original purchaser. That they would have a huge problem on their hands if they didn't have some type of, like, checks and balances. And yeah, it should be better adjusted for the individual, but they're trying to do this because you got mass people, that buy multiple, just like scalpers. Like, how you gonna
Yeah.
stop scalpers? You can't stop scalpers. So it's just kind of like that whole situation of people people abusing the system. They don't want
Yeah,
the
but thinking
majority
about it this way,
that
like,
will abuse it.
but where did they get the PS4 from? Like, where did they buy it from? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
No, I mean, like, the
Exactly.
person who got it, like, and they're over there selling it to, like, people for cheap. Where did they get it from? Because they either had to pay for somebody had to pay full price, and they already
Mhm.
Sony's already been paid for it. So I mean, at that point, what are you even questioning? You've already got the money. You've already gotten the money
Yeah.
for it. So it's like, why even make it into that big of a deal? You've already got your money. So don't even. You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
I think what there might be some more stuff behind the scenes with the business. They may have a thing in place where it's like, okay, Best Buy, if this person purchased from Best Buy and we turn around and there's a malfunction and we fix it,
Hmm.
they may it may be some type of financial exchange
Yeah, they
between the
do with those
companies
targets.
or
Yep.
agreement. So it's kind of like, okay, this was bought from Best Buy, from Target, Amazon. There's always some type of backdoor agreement of like, okay, this came from them. Your customer
Hmm.
said there was a malfunction. This we see that he purchased it from the Best Buy partner. Okay, so now that business deal can cover the cost of repairing, because it's not just,
Yeah.
they sell it and that's it. Like, oh, here you go, Best Buy. Here's your systems and that's it. No, it's more in depth than that. It's more in depth. So that could be a possibility as to why it's more hands involved. But I don't know. That's just something I forgot
Yeah,
about.
because there's negotiations with each retailer that they
Mm.
sell these to. So you don't know if they're getting 50 cents on the dollar or whatever the cost is that Best Buy, Target, Amazon, whatever the company's agreement is with Sony on how much
Because
they're
it's
buying
not
these
just
things.
Sony covering that cost; it's other
Yeah.
companies that are putting in on that cost.
Yeah,
Yep.
good. Yeah, so it's like, okay, so how many people do you think buy direct from Sony then?
There's a lot of people that buy direct from
Yeah.
That's
companies
what I'm.
Companies.
because
Yeah.
they
That's,
don't want to
that's
deal
They
they
don't
don't
want to
want
deal
to
with the
deal with the
middleman.
fluff. Yeah,
Yep.
because like boy, I've been
I know
in
I am. I'm
any
big on buying from the
retailer.
company.
They
I'm used
over there trying to return something and they getting that that
always.
that runaround.
Yep.
Oh man,
Yep.
they're boy, those customers be heated.
Yeah.
They are heated.
You
So
want to
yeah,
try. You
they
want to buy
don't.
directly, so you don't deal with the middleman. You just directly go to the company. It's like buying from
Mm,
Apple. I'm big on buying straight from Apple if I buy something. I
yeah,
don't want to
mm,
deal with no middleman, none of this or that. I know exactly what the serial code is, the date of purchase, and exactly what my warranty is. So it's just
right.
simple. That's just
Yeah,
how I
cause
deal with things.
yeah, cause some of those warranties are kind of
Oh
BS.
yeah.
Some of them.
yeah.
Oh
Some of them are
yeah.
pretty bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. You
but
go back.
yeah,
You got a limit.
yeah. That's why I say like if you know the policy and you buy something from somebody within the time frame, just cover yourself. That's what I recommend. That's what I recommend.
And you got to
But
realize also another thing is that when you buy it from these stores, these are people also. They know they're wrong, but they don't care. The manager of the store, whoever it is, they may policy, they might not need to ask for a receipt. They're just having a bad day, and they just want to be a jerk about it. Like
hmm
that's another thing. I never underestimate people that work at stores when it comes to that. You know, that's why I'm big on buying straight from the company that I want to buy it from, because you just
hmm
never know what the spin of the wheel you get as far as somebody that works at these companies, whether it's Best Buy, Walmart, Target. You just might get somebody that's want to be difficult.
hmm Yep.
That's just the way it is, unfortunately. I've had that
Yep.
myself where I've just dealt with companies or customer service. I don't know if you've done with customer service at certain stores. They're just difficult with you for no good reason.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because sometimes like certain items, you'll be in a situation where they're like, oh yeah, it's you gotta reach out to the manufacturer,
Yep, yep.
and then you didn't buy it directly from the manufacturer,
You
so
got to
that's
go.
even more barriers.
Now you have to tell the
So,
manufacturer where you bought it from. You're just going through a whole nother layer of unnecessary things now.
mm, but yeah, it's very unfortunate for your friend who bought something, bought it from the other your other friend, and then something happened and they couldn't return it. Very unfortunate, but
Yeah.
like I said, if you're buying
no,
a product,
that was my brother who got it as a gift from my parents.
what?
Oh wow.
Wait. They didn't have the receipt
I mean, like it was like months later. Like they were not holding on to
months
receipt.
later.
Like they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
they're
you have
not.
big purchases,
Well,
just
yeah.
a rule of thumb, I always keep the
Like they're
receipt.
just like
Yeah.
whatever. Of course, it's not
Always.
like
Yeah.
and like they figured, like because I sent my stuff in before, and it would be just on like laptops, other consoles, based solely on serial numbers, not on the receipts, not on anything else like that. Just on what. So it's like they were kind of the black sheep as far as like the policy was concerned. It's like, you guys, there's a serial number right here on the thing. Well, you might have stolen it. It's like, yeah, because your system is so great, I guess.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
no, they do, like, when it comes to certain products, they do deal in a lot of theft and a lot of, like,
Yeah.
third party resale, wholesale, scalpers. So they don't know who bought it. They don't know what they just getting stuff coming in. They're
yeah,
like,
I mean, that's right.
shoot, ET could have bought it.
Yeah,
Shit
that's
like,
true.
they don't know.
But that's true for every other product from every other person that I've ever used that just said, "Here, just give me the serial number and we'll send you a box." You know what I mean? Like, just give me. Is it within the warranty? Yes. Oh, is it real warranty? No. You're gonna have to pay $150 to get it fixed. Like, that's usually how it is. It's like they could have just as easily did that. They could have just been like, "Well, we don't know. You will just have to just give us $150." But they didn't even want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm kind of like,
Yeah. I mean, you might have caught somebody on a bad day, or
Yeah,
they
that's what
didn't
I'm
want to
saying.
work with you.
Yep.
Cause you
Roll
might
the
have
dice.
caught somebody on a bad day.
Yep. Some people just want to be difficult for no good reason.
Mm, yeah, but especially, like he was saying, if it's a big purchase, just in case, hold on to that receipt, file it away until you need it,
or if
just
you
in case.
Or if you really, what you call it, if you really, really, really don't feel like holding on to a receipt, what you do is, and I'm not trying to be a shill or nothing, just get DirecTV, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh man.
Oh man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm saying, man, you ever use that Premiere repair thing before? That stuff is the bee's knees, man. I've gotten
Mm,
I've gotten laptops and TVs fixed for $50. What?
yeah.
Mm.
Nice.
Yeah,
Mm,
that's that whole "you might have stole it" policy is more so the good has to suffer with the bad type of thing. It might suck because it's business. You don't want to help a thief, but how do I know you stole it? I truly can't. So the good have to suffer with the bad. Yeah, well, yeah, it really
yeah.
does suck. It
Yeah.
really does suck because it's like, oh man, I just don't have like some people just like, I just lost the receipt. Well, too bad. So,
Yeah.
oh,
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah,
well,
that's unfortunate.
yeah, man.
So,
Well, everybody, I think
but
that's about all the time we have for now. Thanks for tuning in, gents. We'll be back next week with another combat report. Guys, we'll go ahead and sign off real quick.
all right, this is Antique Legend, PlayStation Electronic Extraordinaire. You already know.
This guy.
You know, I love fighting games. Love other platformers. Other multi-plat games. Shooters. Action adventure. You know where to find me. I'll be here. So be safe. Be safe out there. Be smart. And, just, be mindful of what's going on.
Yep.
Yeah, and this is crunch time, just like Chris said. Be safe, be vigilant out there. If you're on the front lines, we respect you and everything. And thank you again for tuning in.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And this is your boy MCE Amazing saying thanks to everybody once again. Yeah, like what Brian said, all of our people out there on the front lines protesting and trying to make the world safe for all of us. Here the combat report. And just remember, guys, big government, big lies. But anyway,
Right.
we will see y'all later. Love, peace, and hair grease. Have a great day. Stay safe out there. Remember, if you're going to be protesting, make sure to not. Make sure that you go with people you know. Don't go with people who you're kind of familiar with. And always keep an eye out for somebody trying to do something shady, bro. Because they might be trying to drag you into something that you don't want any part of.
Right.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely agree with that.
Like, stay safe, man. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and stay alive. So, we will see you guys later on the next combat report. Thank y'all very much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Peace.